December 27th, 2009. VGN Radio presents Midwest Wasteland with your hosts, Kevin Baird.
Brian Baird.
Cease.
Oz.
And Kung Fu Master Larry Mac.
Tonight's topic, fights. So, Don Anderson will be joining us in about 10 minutes when his brood falls asleep, which will probably be an hour. And
fingernails.
We're planning to have William Bailey on the show, as well as Brian Osborne. Brian, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Yay!
Hello.
We're going to refer to Brian as Oz, except I'm sure I'm going to fuck that up 100 times.
Oh, yeah.
I'm bad like that because I always reference people wrong. And because there's two Brians on the show. And
I'm technically a Robert, but I'm not going to answer that.
yeah.
Rob.
Or you can refer to my brother as Baird because I'm known as Baird's brother. So in those circles,
Brother of Baird.
We got Oz on cell phone. What happened with the Skype, Oz? It didn't work out for you?
Well, yeah, I didn't have a chance to get a mic.
Oh, all right. That's cool.
So
That's understandable.
You can just talk to the monitor, and it'll translate it into sound.
Transcribe
okay. Cool.
Like the Star Trek computer we'll use to.
Yeah, just
working.
type what you want to say, and
Computer.
Skype will turn it into computer voice.
Computer?
I think we used Anderson on his cell phone for about a year before he had a mic. So it's cool. Yeah, I just got out of a blizzard, and I'm glad that's over. And
So are we.
that's why the show was a little bit late.
Because we were
Started.
concerned about you, Kevin.
No, you guys were.
We were waiting with bated breath.
You guys were like, oh shit, I hope there's no show. There's no show. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Dude, we just want to get screamed at.
Yeah, dude. If Kevin dies in a ditch, I bet you don't have to do the show.
If you get on the show too early, he's like, I'm not ready. If you get on the show late, he's like, see, if you were ready and fucking around.
You're so unreliable.
Let's start
Don't even
that
have the
again.
show notes ready.
Oz, if you want, I can add you to the Skype, even though you won't be using it, so you can read the chat that goes on if you want. I don't know if that interests you or not.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
Time. That's cool.
Okay, what have I done?
Yeah, you just pick up, and then you'll be able to see the
Damn it.
Anderson putting up little pictures and stuff on there.
Yeah. Trying to check this up.
I think you got to answer it though. You got to click the answer button.
Yeah. Got it.
Oh, my God.
This is how we start the show, folks. Technical issues, but we had to get it going because
We don't do it before the show.
we don't want to be on here all night because sports is going to go for 3 hours tonight because I know Larry's in a good mood with the
Dude, Cleveland is a combined 8-0, man. Monsters are undefeated, Cavs are undefeated, and the Browns won.
You completely fucked us now. You know when the gods hear about that shit, they fuck us.
I just heard a bolt of lightning hit out someplace where Larry lives.
Something just smashed into something else. Can't really hear lightning, dude. It's a flash of light.
Oh, that's the asteroid coming towards us right now.
I bet if you were really close to lightning, you'd hear it, dude. It makes some.
Yeah, I'd hear myself shriek.
Yeah. All right.
Glow in the dark is flying everywhere, man.
So,
My skin turning into bacon.
just so people know who Oz is, we've all been friends with Oz forever.
Thousands of years.
I've known Oz
Since
since
the earth cooled.
since ninth grade. I don't know. No, actually, was it before that? Might have been before that. What's
Before that.
probably 7th or 8th grade, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like 5th grade.
Yeah, and then Cease and Anderson is
Third
probably
grade.
even earlier. And so, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
No, yeah, I would say
About
so.
that.
They had a lot to talk about. Obviously, about the good old days.
Yeah, they were great. All right, so what we talk about?
Fuck you, Brian.
Fighting.
Yeah, we're talking about fights. So, we're going to go around. We'll do the usual thing. And first thing we're going to
Ding,
discuss
ding, ding.
tonight
And in the first corner.
is the most memorable fight you were ever in. Brian Baird.
Yeah.
Most memorable fight.
I'm only going to remember fights where I lost, which is pretty much all of them.
Really?
As much as I like fucking playing video games and shit where I'm always the hero, I'm not a hero. I get killed. The first fight was when I got fucking stomped by Butera, which is the only fight everybody remembers because it was so memorable. because I laid in a puddle of my own fucking blood while Dale Molman stood there with a fucking fistful of steak knives like anybody's going to fight that fucking crazy fucker. Bob stood there in a fucking drunken stupor. It was. Am I supposed to just explain like what happened from beginning to end? Because
I mean, why not? Why don't you tell it? Since it's the biggest fight you were ever in.
Yeah,
go ahead.
All right. So I didn't even know who Butera was before this. So I just remembered that I was at Bruler's fucking party, this week-long debauchery that we used to go on once in a while, and I was playing my bass. Molman was playing somebody's guitar, and we were both playing badly. And Bruler was on a fucking microphone just like screaming out obscenities. And then there was like a glass breaking upstairs, and I heard stretches like something. And I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but I stopped fucking playing my bass because I just assumed that, I should just stop. I don't want to add to whatever was going on. Because, it's fucking Bruler's party, man. Anything could be going on. It doesn't necessarily mean that you hear shit breaking that something's wrong. Somebody could be like fucking the cat or whatever. Who put the fucking cat in the freezer? Anybody figured that out?
Oh God! I think it was Dan, I believe.
Because I called a couple days later and fucking Bruler's mom picks up the phone and goes, "Oh, were you the one who put the cat in the freezer?" I'm like,
who was the guy who's putting the stick up his ass and jacking off on the table and all that? Well, that wasn't Dan, was it?
I'm glad I didn't go to all your old parties, man.
Yeah, me too.
I must have been at work. So anyway, there was a bunch of yelling, and I heard fucking Brewer yell, "Brian Baird, get up here!" And I'm like, in bare feet, I am completely because we know this is young Brian Baird. He used to drink until he couldn't fucking move anymore, right? So I'm like, not quite to that stage, but I was pretty fucking glad. I was trashed. Okay, I'm not making excuses for why I couldn't fight. I can't fight. Okay, this is just worse. So I see everybody's outside. I go running off of Bruler's porch and forget that there's like steps going the other way. So I flew off and went face first into the ground. I'm like, this is not going well already, So I go running out there, and there's just like a bunch of dudes screaming at a bunch of better built dudes that I didn't know. Obviously I found out these guys are they were wrestlers or whatever. Answer me.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean,
were they wrestlers? Yes. Some of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wrestlers, football players.
Jocks.
Yeah. They were just burly dudes, right? And it was like I got there, and it was I don't remember everything obviously because I was drunk, and then later on I was being shitted with fists, and I just remembered that it looked like I got there right when it was like ending, and they were like walking away, and I guess we were kind of breaking up, and then Dan fucking yelled at Butera, "Get out of here, you fucking stupid jack!"
Right.
Fucking Butera. It was like, click. He's like, "What'd you fucking call me that for, huh? What the fuck?" And then Dan just kicked him and then ran away. So I don't know what was going on, but somebody that was not in front of me hit me in the side of the face, and it was just like, "What's going on now?" And I'm like completely dazed. And then some other dude, I think it was Eric, tried, I guess, I don't know if he was trying to grab me and throw me down or move me on the way or whatever. But whatever happened, I was wearing my corner T-shirt, and it ripped it. And then I was really pissed off. I was like, dude, I like that shirt, man. And I'm never going to get another one, so fuck you, I'm going to rip your shirt, which is what I did. And then...
Sounds like a bad chick fight. You guys are ripping the clothes off of each other? Was there fucking Jello?
Oh, my extensions. No, sorry.
So, I didn't see the fight. As you said, you saw the fight a little bit. But I think you were kind of fucked up, too.
But this was... when this went down, this was the first time I had ever taken a certain substance called acid.
Yeah.
And, it was pretty nuts. I remember just running. I just remember going outside when it was almost done, and Dan running up the yard all bloodied up. So we took off into the woods because we heard the cops coming, the sirens. And I just remember looking at Dan bloodied up, and his face was a greenish color from the substance. And I think we just waited in the woods till the cops left and came back to the house. I really didn't see that much of the fight.
Because somebody I know told me I was doing kung fu. I don't know who told me that, and I'm like, I don't know kung fu. Which tells me either they saw somebody else who did know kung fu, or I was wildly drunker than I thought I was.
You were just flailing around, and they didn't know kung fu either.
Yeah,
that must be kung fu.
It must be. Nobody fucking does that sort of breakdancing fucking fight. We know that don't work, right? So
You were doing a bunch of bad ki shouts.
all I remember is like it came down to me and Eric was punching me, and I knew I couldn't punch him because I was gonna miss because I was that drunk. So I started choking him, and that seemed to kind of work until he yelled, "Guys, help!" And then I'm gonna take it because everybody said it must have been this guy. Hackadakis came up and punched me, which was the same feeling, I guess, because I've compared notes to other guys that got punched by him, and it's like being hit by a sledgehammer. Because that dude hit really fucking hard, and I was just like, I'm going to bed, and I just laid down and I hit the ground, and that was it. And then my last thing I saw was Molman going, "Come on!" And he didn't have like like when you take like a steak knife, like you pretend you're Wolverine. And sticking it between your fingers, like any sensible human being, he would have only 3. He had like 8, like sticking out of various parts of his hand. I thought for a split second as I was going out that he broke his hand on a window. Where the window came from, I don't know, and it was going crazy and had glass sticking out of his hand. So I'm like, no, those are like little steak knives. And Bob was just standing over there like, duh. Like, I don't want to get beat up. I'm like, dude, fuck it. But I was out,
All right, I'm going to add Bailey. Since we got Anderson on as well, so at this point, chaos is about to erupt.
Everybody can hear me.
Anyway, so I woke up after that, and I know the cops showed up, and they're like, "You want to press charges?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to press charges. I don't know who the fuck they are." And then Eric called me, but Eric called me the next day. He's like, "Dude, you okay?" Well, I know he's just covering his ass, but at least that was fairly.
I wanted to call and check on you. I was worried because I beat your ass pretty badly.
I thought you might be dead, and I don't want to go to jail forever because your stupid drunk ass came in contact with my fists. So, I dropped charges. I was like, I was out of work for a couple of days, and when I did go into work, man, all the dudes there, all the brothers are like, "Dude, you got fucked up, man." Like, yeah. He's like, I don't know. I just never thought you could get fucked up. I'm like, well, neither did I. It happened. So that was the most memorable, somewhat fight.
Bailey, welcome.
Hey, you can hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, cool. I got this technology thing working here.
Cool.
Ground control to Major Tom.
We're going around and we're doing. Currently, we're asking. We're talking about fights, of course. And the first question we're asking is the most memorable fight you were ever in. So I'll get to you in a minute, and then we'll ask that. But you can start thinking about it now.
We just discussed my shame.
Yeah.
So
I got plenty of that.
So that takes us to Anderson.
Anderson already?
Well, we go by age on the show. So
age.
Fair enough. Well,
you old bastard.
I'd have to say
Crash, you old fucker.
that Don Cease is older than me. Anyways,
Brian's older than everybody.
first the most memorable fight you're saying, right?
The most memorable fight that you were ever in.
That I was ever
You judge
in.
age by like gray hairs or something?
No, like tenure on the show.
Seniority.
Right.
I got you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, everybody already knows that story, so because everybody knows about the car.
You can tell it again. We get new listeners all the time.
Okay. Okay.
People are clamoring for that story.
Was that a party? It was a band party, so it was like a dry party. There was nothing crazy going on. It was a bunch of band people playing volleyball and drinking juice. And me and who was it? Baird, you were there. Kevin Vinoy was there. Rom, Bates, and I think that was about it. Roughly.
Well, I just remember going to the front lawn and somebody like Kerry Crash Kovac or whatever was sitting there like holding his face or something. Like somebody got into a fight with him. I don't remember what it was. I didn't even know what was going on.
He got into a fight. There was a bunch of kids walking around, and he got into a fight with one of them or whatever. And then Vinoy was like, "I know that one dude, and I want to beat his ass." He's like, "I'm going to go over there and I'm going to beat his ass." And we were
that usually means you're going to fight all of the guys for him.
Yeah.
Well, right, and it was kind of like well, let's go over there. If there's more than one of them, at least we're there in case they try to jump in. Plus, we want to see a fight, so why not? Little did I know I should have just fucking stayed there and played volleyball. But so we go around this corner. We're walking down the street, and it's nighttime, so there's only street lights on. When all of a sudden, like 3 or 4 dudes come walking out of nowhere. I mean, like fucking ninjas.
It was more than 3 or 4 dudes. It was like a dozen dudes.
Not at first. No, not at first.
Well.
There really wasn't that many. There was. I mean, at first it was just the 4 of them because there was Van there was Emod, and then there was the dude Vinoy wanted to beat up, and then there was like 1 or 2 other dudes.
I don't know. I remember just a crowd of kids. I remember kids carrying like steel poles and stuff coming out of their backyards.
They came out with like nightsticks.
The Leather Lords.
They came out with they had like nightsticks or some shit.
Right.
Out and play.
Fucking warriors.
And so they're like, hey, hey, you guys want to fucking fight, blah, 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 blah. And we're like, no, our dude here says that he's going to fight your dude, and we just wanted to make sure everything was cool. And then for some reason, I'm standing in the back, and for some reason, I'm the guy who got fucking pulled to the front. And because, like, I was in summer school, and this Emod dude and this Mike Van they came up to me in summer school, and they're like, do you got change for $1? And I was like, no, I don't, because I didn't. And they were like, you're a faggot. Fuck you, you little bitch. I was just like, what? I'm like, what? I'm like, what did I do? I'm like, I don't.
Only
I'm not.
fags don't have change.
Right. You know. I was like, hello.
Excluding themselves, yeah.
Looking in the mirror, faggot. So we're all standing there, and then that's when Van because he's like a little toady. He was like a little toady. I guess I could say this because these guys are all in prison or some shit. I don't even know.
They live next door.
Yeah, they got fucked, man.
They've just been waiting for you to make an appearance so they can find you.
Which is good because Carmen's a fucking bitch, assholes. So the toady boy, he's standing behind the Van. He's standing behind me, Emod, and he's like, "That's that dude from summer school. He would give you change." And I was like, I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, I didn't have change.
You guys haven't moved beyond this yet.
Right. I'm like, what the fuck is this about? You know?
Remember that?
And so he comes up to me and he goes, "You think you're a tough guy?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "What?" You know, I'm like,
"You think you're a badass? You don't have to give people change."
So he's like, "You know what? I don't need this stick to beat your ass." And he threw it to the ground, and I was like, "What?" And that's when he went, and he popped me right in the face.
But you were actually he sucker punched you because you were facing the other way. He got you.
I was kind of fake. Yeah, I mean, I was.
Man, Jack, thanks for checking in.
I was getting ready to.
Kevin's changing form over there.
I was getting ready.
It's that dye and all his hair's falling out. He's hanging from the ceiling and morphing into Wolfman Jack.
I was because I was
that shit from him, Kevin. Get him.
I was trying to because I was trying to.
I'll beat your ass.
Bitch.
Turn around, walk away from it, and that's when he got me as I was trying to turn away from it, and so he cracked me once in the face, and I turned and I looked at him. And I think he was kind of shocked because I don't think he's used to people just looking right back at him after Jackson ran. Well, listen, shush. And so I looked at him and I was like, "Fuck you!" And I turned around and I walked away. And he's like, "You're a pussy" or whatever. And his other dude came running up and he was like, "Get over here and fight him!" And he went to go like kick me or whatever. And I turned around and I grabbed his foot and it was, you know, you grab his foot and you're like, "What are you doing, you asshole?" And I flipped him up in the air and he fell backwards. And I just turned around and I kept walking. So I got to my car. And that's when Kevin Rom comes running up. And I started my car up. And he's like, "Dude, what are you doing? Are you leaving?" And I was like, "I'm going to fucking run these bitches over." And I started my engine up. And I turned my bright lights on. And this is when I had the Green Goblin. And I turned the bright lights on. And I hit the gas like really hard. And fuck, for the life of me, I wish it was like a movie where it would have been like, but it was just like, it's like, okay, there we go. You know,
like that fucking truck from Jeepers Creepers or something.
Right. And I come tearing down the street at about 35 miles an hour, and these dudes see me coming, so they're all like, this is right there about the high school, and it's like a regular neighborhood. So
what's he doing there? I don't know.
They're at the street, and I come tearing at them at 35, and they go running into the yard. They're like, whatever. So they go running into the yard. So I was like, whatever.
To the left.
Went to the left, up on the tree lawn, over the sidewalk into somebody's yard, chasing. They're like, holy fuck! They all spread they just all jumped all over the place.
Took 2 steps.
Turned back onto the street. I saw somebody's mother standing on the street corner because that's when all these people started coming out.
Over? No.
And then she was just like, "Oh my god, he tried to run him over!" And I just went like speeding past her. And then I was like, I turned around and came back and was like, "Get in the car!" I was trying to get everybody in the car. Like, let's get out of here. And then Vanham's brother came out and he was like, "Get out of the car, you pussy." I'm like, "Fuck you, I'm under 18. You touch me and I'll fucking sue your ass."
That's awesome.
Although I just tried running you all down.
The Anderson battle cry. I'll sue you.
Well, I mean, I'm not getting out of the car. I was in my car. He was like, "Get out of the car." I'm like,
"Unless you sue me first for vehicular manslaughter."
Well, yeah. I wasn't trying to run him over. It was just his brother.
He'll fucking be there in court with the fucking electric chair. He can only move with his chin.
See, oddly enough, you know what's oddly enough about this story is the fact that Kevin, out of everybody here, Kevin's the only one who was there. and his story conflicts with mine.
Why? What? How does mine? Oh, because of the number of people that were there? Dude, all I know is I went out there. There was all this stuff going on. Kevin Vanoy started fighting two guys. I was about to help him. Then that big Van Dam guy came out, whoever that was, and pushed me on the ground, and he's like, stay there. And I was like, okay. And then, like, Bates showed up, and he's like, who hit Anderson? And then I was like, that dude over there. Then Bates went the other way because he
gave you his jacket.
Yeah, and then he gave me his coat. And then, like, everybody got in all the cars and drove off, and the people went inside, and I was standing in the middle of the street holding the coats. So that's what I do at fights, though. Believe me.
Disguise yourself as a tree.
I have no good fight stories. We'll find that out later.
Or just be some.
Dude, that's not like mine was good either. It was bad.
No, yours was good.
All right. Now, in fairness to into fairness of everybody else, I'm going to mute my microphone so the next person can tell their story.
Oh.
And I can do stuff that you can't hear.
I thought that's how the show worked. I thought we were supposed to interrupt each other,
watching
right?
the porn over there.
It is. Yeah, he doesn't want us to hear him streaming porn.
I'm sure he's
like,
I'm sure he can't.
Bruce, I love you, Bruce. Yeah, Bob, give it to me. And he doesn't need us hearing that bleeding through his mic.
Because his computer would shut right off. He can't do two things at once.
He's begging his kids to go to bed.
Remember that pair of shorts I lent you?
It's like
he's streaming his own porn. Cameras on him.
His kid's like that kid from the Twilight Zone and stuff. He's like, I'm going to put you in the cornfield if you don't hang up the phone. Oh, please don't do that.
That's going to play with the rabbit in the box.
Yeah. That's a real fine thing you done, honey.
I'm not hitting the mute button. I just don't have a mouth.
All right, so that takes us to Cease.
Mine never last that long. I don't have any long. Everybody I fought, I mean, you guys don't know, because it was out in like Strongsville and shit. But there was this one guy, and I've talked about it on the show before. His last name was like one letter off from mine. So this motherfucker was in every fucking class at every goddamn table right next to mine. Every fucking class. I couldn't stand this son of a bitch. And on top of that, he was the most annoying motherfucker in the whole school. Everybody hated this son of a bitch. He'd be picking on people, and it didn't matter who the fuck you were. You could be like the fucking homecoming queen. He'd be like, hey, bitch, and then like, really? They all look at him like, but, I'm like, fucking after about a year of this shit, his locker was fucking right next to mine. I'm like, dude, just leave me the fuck alone today. He goes, ooh, what? What's the matter? So I'm opening my locker, and he always has that little dial on it, and you got to fucking pull up the thing to open it. Well, he pushes it closed. I'm like, dude, 2 more times. I'm like, I rolled it back a little bit, fucking opened it up. And he just kind of slowly taps it and then clicks in. And I'm like, he's giving me this dumb smile, like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm like, last chance, motherfucker.
I'm going to beat you on principle.
Last motherfucking chance. So I open it up again, and I fold my arms. I'm looking at him, like, go ahead. And he's like, just tapping on it. And it's slowly closing, it gets a little closer. He's got this look like, fuck you. Fuck you. As soon as that motherfucking thing clicked, I picked him up and ran down the hallway past all these people with him, and I'm like, fucking threw him into the front window. And he fucking all his books and shit and everything. He's like, got his arm up in the air. He's laying on the ground. He's like, no. All they hear is the whole fucking crowd. Kill him, motherfucker. I'm like, and I was just about to pummel his ass, and he's like, don't hit me. I'm like, you fucking wuss. That was one of my favorites.
All right.
I love the C stories because he's always just so fucking violent. Just complete murder.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Shit, if it's complete murder, I would have beat the fuck out of him, but I didn't.
Actually, Larry, I skipped you, so Larry.
Well, that's fine, because I have no interesting fight stories. All my fights are me running my mouth, and then somebody punching me in the face, and then somebody else telling me what happened after.
Come on, tell us the story. Come on. Don't be that way.
Fight story. There was this one time I had to fight a band of ninjas, but it's a really long, complicated story.
Tell us about how you were running your mouth and some guy popped you. We want to hear the story.
I know.
You were at a bar one time, and some guy was beating his girlfriend, and you went up to break up the thing.
Oh, that one. That's not very interesting, though.
I remember that one because I was just looking at you like, you're my hero.
It makes you sound like a hero, at least. Just do it.
No, because it wasn't even that. It wasn't that some dude was smacking his girlfriend around. It was that I was at a bar, and I went up to the bar to get myself a drink, and there was a chick there. Now, everybody here knows I cannot talk to women. I do not talk to women because I get shy. Like, even women I know I won't talk to because I get too shy. So I walked up and just said hi and went about my thing. And she said hi. And it was like right as she said hi and I looked at her and said hi, her, like, boyfriend, husband, owner, pimp, whatever he was, came over. It happened to, like, walk up behind her and immediately got in her shit. Like, first he gave me the look. And I was like, dude, hey, it's all cool. I'm just getting a beer. I didn't know nothing about nothing. And he immediately turns on her.
I didn't even look at her. I
just went back to my business.
Oh, God.
And so he immediately turns on her and, goes off on her because she's a slut and a bitch and, like, grabbed her, like, by the neck.
Maybe she had a real issue.
Yeah. And, like, because I'm mildly retarded, when he grabbed her by the neck, I jumped on him and, like, just popped him. And immediately he then started to beat my ass because he was not the sort of guy that I should be picking a fight with. Cause
it's like that Bugs Bunny cartoon where he's fighting a wrestler and he's like trying to choke the guy out and the guy just looking totally.
He was bigger than me, scarier than me, and there wasn't much I was going to do to him. So I got on him, popped him, and he grabbed me, and we might have got in a couple shoves and a punch before, like, the bouncer came in and broke it up and tossed us both out. And, of course, the only thing that made it even kind of memorable is after that, we both get tossed out. And, of course, she's running over to, her pimp or whatever he was, asking him if he's okay. And, she's sorry. I was like, you know what? That's what I decided from now on. Fuck it. I minded my own business. So.
Okay. That was good. See, you had a story.
Some girl be getting stuck with a fucking knife.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck you.
I don't want to hear about it because fuck you.
Okay, that'll take us to Oz. Oz?
Yes, that would be Fantasy Theater, 1998.
7:45 p.m.
Show.
Oh, go ahead.
Ringworm show started about, let's see, me and Blaze, a guitar player at the time, we consumed a bottle of whiskey before the show, which probably wasn't a good idea.
No.
It's a good way to start the evening.
But to be expected.
You were planning on sleeping through another show, weren't you?
Yeah. But,
This is the guy, everybody, that fell asleep through King Diamond.
Yeah, I was sitting right next to him.
Yes, I did.
Let him tell the story. There's other stories, but let him tell this one. Come on.
So, we're in the club, hanging out. It's probably about 8 or 9 o'clock this time. We've been drinking beers now for a while, and some dude bumps into Blaze. So he clocks the dude, right?
Because that's the kind of dude Blaze is. So you got to just...
Yeah, you got to know this guy. Yeah, he and then a couple of his other buddies surround him, so he proceeds to beat their asses. He like beat up like 3 guys, like in one,
Were you fighting though? Were you involved?
Yeah. So,
It's the build-up.
Nothing happened with that. Security didn't throw him out or nothing. They just broke it up because he had to play.
Yeah, he's got a show to do.
That's nice of him.
So he goes up on stage, plays.
You're fucking out of here. Oh, you're in the band? Okay.
Yeah.
Knock it off.
He goes up on stage, plays, and he fucks up a lot. So Frank, because he's so drunk, so Frank, the guitar player, is pissed after the show. So Blaze, he decides that he's going to throw a monitor off a stage. So he throws,
that's happened a few times at the Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He throws the monitor, and so security grabs him, drags him downstairs. Meanwhile, he's fighting and kicking and screaming. So, the security has him on the ground, and some random dude decides to jump in and start punching him while he's on the ground while security's holding him down.
The hell?
All this action, and Oz hasn't even jumped in yet.
No, not yet.
Oz is biding his time.
It's probably
I'm looking for his opening.
This is where I
drank a
jump
fucking
in.
bottle of whiskey. It was like a time
Here we
zone,
go.
Okay.
Now this is where we jump in. So the dude that's punching Blaze, I grab him and start punching him in the head. I hit him like 5 or 6 times. He takes off out the door. I go after him. Oh, but he jumps into a car. Huh? No, he jumps into a car. He's out of there. I look down at my hand, and the bone is sticking up on my hand.
God.
Like, you could see it through the skin, you know? Sticking up.
Maybe that was your adamantium claws.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I like the fact that Oz fights guys that have waiting getaway cars.
Yeah. No,
there was chicks down there waiting for him out front.
Jesus.
So,
Jumps right into a
he jumped in and took off.
video.
And he ran to the roof and hopped in a helicopter.
But I broke my hand in the process of punching this guy in the head multiple times.
Wow.
Which is always good.
That's my most memorable one.
All right, cool. Bailey?
You guys could probably, remind me of all the times I've been beat up.
Yes.
Me and Oz talked a little bit prior to me coming home, and they all just started flooding in. Let's see, the Dan James punting my head at one of his parties at the house that Kevin used to live at with I don't know who was that one dude from People Under the Stairs that had the skin condition or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then
Dave's cousin. Yeah.
Dana Bozo was my getaway car, I'm trying to think of a few others. I don't think I've never been much of a fighter. Any of the fights that I've actually won.
Didn't you fight like the whole Case Western football team or something at one point?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I didn't win that one.
I forgot that one.
I love the story. I've heard it from 20 different people.
I never won that one, but that was with Mario Scarsapino when he was going to school out there, and of course the weekend getaways at Case, because that was such a wild school, And I don't know if it was just the football team knew that they couldn't even, make a mark in college football, so they just decided to take it out on the tattoo guy that was out there drunk, and I don't know. And the sad thing was, I think they were playing Green Day. That's how hard they got, And I'm just like, all right, And I was with Dave Marchesani, and this dude was like a fighter. And Sonny Scarsapino and Mario. I think Jean was there. I don't remember if they were dating at the time or what, But I was, in my phase of, well, I'm not going to pick up any chicks because all these jocks are here, so I'm just going to be like, I don't know.
A drunk asshole?
Yeah. And so I was doing just that, and then next thing I know, like some football player gets in my face, and of course it was at their dorm. So, there was, a lot of them.
They just kept flooding out of the rooms.
Yeah.
Like
and next thing I know, I'm on the ground getting Rodney King'd, and then they decide to pick me up. And they have those emergency escape doors where you push the bar, to open the doors and get out.
Yeah.
And I'm a human battering ram used to open those doors. It was like, the SWAT team was trying to get in to save somebody. It was me that was being used to get out. And that might have been where some of the brain damage started. But that was a rough night. I woke up hurting pretty much. Oh, that also reminds me of another time I got beat up by a group of people. By the Cleveland Police Department. Did I ever share that story, or is it one story at a time here? Now they're all starting to come to me.
Well,
write it down.
Yeah,
write it down.
We'll come back to you. There's going to be we're going to have a little go round.
Number.
Cop beatings are the worst.
Yeah, remember that one.
Let's get the Cleveland Police on the phone first.
So that just leaves me, and I have nothing even nearly as exciting as that. Part of the thing is that. Besides the fact that I'm 6'3" and nobody really wants to fight a tall, lanky dumbass, I hung out with Kevin Vinoy through most of high school, who's an absolute loose cannon. And if he sees somebody looking at him the wrong way, he'd be, "Did you just look?" And then he'll just be like
a 5-year-old in the corner. Like, what are you fucking looking at? You little shit, get out of here.
He would like be totally driving the car and be completely calm, and then he'd just like look out the window and be like, "What the fuck are you looking at?" The car would completely start to skew out into the road in front of oncoming traffic, and his face would just go from completely blank to like 28 days later, fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's if the car worked.
And you're in the back seat, you're like, fuck, dude, man.
Back seat's the safest place in that car.
I remember riding that fucking Hornet he had. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's right. You fucking live with him, dude. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I spent all the time with him, so there was no way somebody was just going to even start something with me because they'd just be fighting Vinoy. I mean, they probably did start something with me at one time. They're like, maybe I'll pick on Kevin Baird, but before you know it, that Kevin Vinoy dude was like there.
Yeah, before you realized somebody was about to do something, Vinoy realized they were looking at you funny
right.
and started kicking their ass.
I mean, literally, that would happen. So it was just one of those things. So, I mean, most of the fights I've been in are pretty dumb. The only one I can remember that's probably the biggest I was ever in was in elementary school, actually. Ron Reese, which was a big guy, even in elementary school, was pissed off at me and for reasons unbeknownst to me. And he saw the My Bodyguard movie one too many times or something. So he decided that he would jump me in the bathroom with like Chris Duff and a couple other like soccer jocks because that's all Spruce had. And they're like holding me down, and Ron's holding my hair, and he's like gonna like punch me in the face and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, you like that, don't you?" And he's like moving my head up and down as it's like hitting the ground and stuff.
You're not
yeah, right. It was kind of like that, and he's like getting ready to like knock me out and everything. But then I had like 6 other brothers and sisters, so I'm sure something was probably flowing through his brain that it probably wouldn't be a good idea to totally beat me up.
I wasn't going to fight him. He would have killed me.
Yeah, he was a big guy, man. I know. But the Nowakowskis were kind of crazy. You wouldn't really want to be on
Yeah, just someone of them.
So, ultimately, there was no, like... I mean, I had to, like, fight to get out, but there was, like, no damage done to me or anything. But that...
He started crying. That was the only defense we had.
It's like that, or I got to talk about, like, the fighting Joe Dorco, which shouldn't even count. I mean, I got...
OWE.
Yeah, I got very few fight stories, but
that was a good one because
I want to hear that one.
That was a good one because it wasn't even like a fight that you guys were like mad at. He was just annoying, and like Dan Lopriori and Dan Sebastian were like, "Beat him up, Kevin. Beat him up. Beat him up." And they just kept telling you to beat him up until you were like, "All right, fine." And then you like started smacking his head into the wall and stuff, like all like not even like with any energy. You're just like smash. Smash,
well,
smash.
He was such a small dude, and he just like grabbed his head.
Yeah,
he's like Mario
Crusoe. Like 5 feet tall.
Right.
It was
like Mario Crusoe, the monkey.
That was so funny. I forgot all about that.
Right.
Joe Dorco's like trying to fight. You just like got your big hand on his face. You're like, smash. That was great.
He's not even into it? You're just like,
fucking class. Yeah, he didn't even. He was just like, oh, it just sucks. I don't want to do this to the guy. But I'm gonna beat you up.
But then he became like he became like a thorn in my side because I'd be like walking home from school. He'd be like throwing bottles at me and shit.
He was a little annoying.
Yeah, because he was like a little gremlin that would run around and fuck with you all the time. I hated that guy.
Yeah, it's all about him being resentful.
You know what I mean?
All right. So the second question we're going to have is the most memorable fight you were not in, but that you witnessed.
That's funny because one of our talkers tonight was in it.
All right, Brian, you're first. Go ahead.
All right, Bailey, you should remember this one.
Oh yeah,
maybe he won't.
We were at Dan's.
I was wondering
one of
what
his,
you're referring to.
Yeah, we were at Dan James' little cookout, man, or whatever the fuck he had his back. Another bonfire night, and I was there with Vicky Wyson. Remember that, dude?
And, is this when I was living with her?
No, I don't remember. You might have been, but I think it's because you and
I got to cross this.
Is that when I was Dana Boza or whatever?
Yeah, you and Dana were there, but you and what the fuck is his name? Who?
His name's Dan.
Dan. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's Dan now. Dan Boza. That's right.
Oh,
artist formerly known as Dana.
Right.
Dana.
Dude, that guy, man. Whatever he tells you to call him, you just call him because I don't want him kicking my ass. Fuck. No, but you and fucking Christ, who was the guy you were like originally pushing and shoving originally? But it was
Dave
like
Bates?
you guys were just. Yeah, Dave Bates. You guys were just like fucking around, but it was like
I knew it. Cross this
almost serious, but not
serious.
serious. Yeah, because Bates fights everybody. It's like a fucking passion with him, you know. He's just like, yeah, but they were just like pushing and shoving, like fuck you, Dick. No, fuck you, Dick. Back and forth, and then Dad James, who really didn't know what the fuck was going on, it was completely drunk. Just came out of nowhere, man.
He's from the cornrows or something, dude, like Malachi.
He was like a plague from God, dude. He just fucking was like, and it's like started attacking everybody. Right? And I was like, originally, I was in my car. I was just sitting in front row.
I was in my car.
No, I was in my car, dude, because I had fucking Vicky. I was kind of take her home. I'm like,
I was there too. Me and Adam were sitting in my truck, and then we saw Bates and Bailey
turns
going
on the headlights and stuff, you know. Get some lights on.
Because there was just like, I can't believe we're seeing this shit, man.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, should I get up and break? No, now there's like 10 dudes all fighting each other, and like, you know,
That's
Dana like kind of got involved, and it didn't look like he really wanted to do it at first. And then he was just like, you know. And fucking Bailey was trying to be kind of cool about it. He's like, dude, what the fuck? I thought we're friends. Why are you doing this? And Dan's just like, because I hate you. It could have been anybody. He was just like, you know, Dan's all fucked up. Fucking, I like rolled up and I'm like, Vicky, get the fuck in the car, man. We gotta go, dude. We gotta go. Come on, like cracking up, like, oh my god.
So did you see the kick?
What a fucking
around the world.
I heard about it too, but I didn't actually see it. No.
Yeah, dude. If
what he kicked
my neck,
he kicked you in the face, Bailey. Is that what happened? I mean,
if I didn't have a neck attaching it to my head to my shoulders, dude, it would have went flying in a couple rows back in the corn.
Wasn't there?
I mean, I just got punted right in the head like Randy Orton.
What started the whole thing between you and Bates?
I don't even remember
Vicky.
because that's news to me about Bates right now too.
Dude, yeah, it was Vicky. It was the whole thing about Vicky being there. It was like they both wanted to do her. Okay, let's just face it. This was back in the day. Fucking crazy shit. Chick there, you know, chick drunk. Chick might, you know, hey, we can get on chick. And I'm just like, dude, get in the car. And Vicky's just like, all right, man. So she gets in my car and I take the fuck off out of there. And it was like, what, 35? I'm doing 50. And I get pulled over by a cop and I reek of fucking bourbon. And there's a fucking baggie of something illegal. I won't say what. Nice. Between me and Vicky, my fucking I turn on the interior light, but the car is running, and like I think Wasp is like fucking blasting out of the speakers. And the guy was like, driver's license and insurance. And I hand it over. And it's like I'm still talking to Vicky, like I'm ordering something at a drive-thru. I'm like, oh, here you go. And I'm like, oh my god, that was crazy. Can you believe that? And he disappears. He comes back, gives me my ticket. My ticket's written up completely wrong. I still had to pay it. I tried getting out of it, but I couldn't do it. And fucking, I go back. I go back home. I got Vicky Weiss, and I told my wife at the time, like, look, she's going to spend the night on the couch. And Laura's like, whatever, blah. And so I go to bed, and I hear the door, like, knock, like, maybe 20 minutes later, and I open it, and Bates comes, just walks in. So I close it.
Did he have his eyebrows at the time, or did he shave them?
Yeah, he didn't shave them up yet. He wasn't doing his fucking, like, completely inside face.
Pink Floyd. No.
And oh my god, it was so horrible. The next morning, I was all hungover. Fucking Vicky threw up in my fucking kitchen sink. I was trying to cook breakfast, and I had to stop halfway through. I'm like, fucking just vomiting. I couldn't do it. And Bates was fine. Like, nothing happened, dude. It's like he didn't even drink the night before. He's sitting there going, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make some eggs, and Bates just looks at me and goes, don't forget the chocolate chips.
Dude, that dude was a pro.
I'm like, right. And I go over to my cupboard, and I start looking for chocolate chips. And it occurred to me, what the fuck am I doing? That goddamn dude Jedi'd my ass, man. Completely fuck. All right. But I asked him, like, dude, what the fuck? Do you remember anything about that night? He goes, dude, I was in this crazy fight with Bailey, but it wasn't even like a real fight. And then Dan just went crazy. That was my one memory. And the other memory is I was laying down next to Vicky, and then I kind of fell asleep, and then you put a blanket over us both. And for a split second, I thought you were my dad tucking me in.
All right, now the story's getting weird.
What a fucking nightmare that must have been.
I mean, really.
All right, Anderson.
What up? Okay. Most memorable that I've seen that what didn't involve me, correct?
That is right.
Okay, in high school, what was that art hallway where we always had our lockers, where the art rooms are, and the shop?
I think that was the 900 hall, wasn't it?
I thought the 900 hall was upstairs. Whatever.
Thousands of years ago.
In that hallway, in the art room hallway, J.J. Holmgren and Dominic Donfrio or something like that. I can't remember the name.
Donofrio.
Yeah, Donofrio.
Yeah. These two guys got it on a little, 10-minute match. One fall counts anywhere. Kung Fu fucking shindig. It was one hell of a fight. All the kids blocked off the hallways, and they were stuck there. There were kids blocking the doors so nobody could get out of the rooms, and these two went to town, and there was fucking blood everywhere. It was awesome. It was great. It was the greatest thing I ever saw. It was like a cage fight, only the cage was made out of kids.
Were they throwing kicks, or what was going on?
Yeah, they were bouncing off lockers.
Yeah, they both were in karate
did you see
and
this
stuff.
one? Oz, weren't you there with me?
No, I didn't see that.
Fuck, somebody was with me on that one, and it was great. It was great. They were just cracking each other, kicking each other in the face and stuff. You're just like, wow.
Yeah, they both were in karate. I remember that.
It was a great one. That was
I remember
that
writing
one.
a song about JJ.
I had
when
no
he was
idea
doing-
what was going on. Eventually, like a teacher got through the crowd and jumped in there and was like, "Holy shit!" Because there was just blood all over their faces and stuff.
Was there a winner? Did one of them?
No, there was no winner because they were both. Nobody fell.
Really?
Nobody fell. They beat the shit out of each other and nobody fell. It was great. Either that or in middle school when Lance Scuderi and
Oh,
I can't remember if it's Matt Sarkowitz or whatever.
Matt Sarkowitz. Yeah.
When they
I
fought,
heard about that.
or when they got beat up and the one kid had the lock on his fucking hand and was punching him in the face and
Fucking didn't Lance run away after that?
Yeah.
Lance run away. Yeah, he ran away.
I remember
That
I was in the school then, and I remember seeing Lance run away.
Yeah, I was in your class.
I
We
saw
watched
him
run out the
We saw
back.
him run up over the grass and stuff, looking back, and we're like, "What the fuck's going on?" And then we heard about it later. Yeah, that
Isn't
was
that
crazy.
when Matt went into like convulsions or something? Is that?
Yeah, he was
still-
on the ground. He just had blood pouring out of his face because his lip was all busted wide. He had that big scar for like
Jesus Christ, man.
still does. Not that I see
I'd
him.
run too if somebody looked like they were about to die after I hit them.
That was like right with the,
Funny
that's
thing,
right.
I thought they were friends too, and I'm like, what the fuck was that about?
It was like a
Oh,
crime scene because it was like
Short
nobody
him on
knew.
a dime bag or something.
It was like a prison
yeah.
thing or a crime scene thing because it was like the bell rang for class and that's when it started, so nobody really even heard the first beginnings of it. And then all of a sudden, I was like, "Oh my god, there's a fight going on over there."
Yeah, it was middle school. You know, it was something dumb.
Yeah, it was dumb.
Yeah, he took my comb.
Yeah.
So there you go. I gave you two
Big
for the price of
phone
one.
in Back pocket.
Larry?
Nobody had one of those.
I have no interesting fights that I witnessed that I wasn't a part of.
Larry was once on a street corner where these dudes came out of the darkness with these sticks. And then this other dude got in his car. Tell him about that, Larry.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No,
Come on,
seriously.
I'm trying to help you,
Come
man. I'm
on,
trying to
you
help
never
you.
Larry, you go to
One-
so many bars, you've had to have witnessed a fight.
Larry, remember that time we
Kevin
went
and
to
me drove
Peabody's?
past the fucking Big Egg one time when these two dudes were beating the shit out of each other. We drove past like, what the fuck was that about? That was crazy.
I got nothing. Yes, I've been at bars and I've seen drunk guys stumble into each other a few times. That's not. I'm not going to tell stories about. And then this other guy, who was drunk off his ass, swung at the other dude and completely missed him. I'm not going to tell that story after fucking Anderson's story of fucking kung fu ninjas in his high school.
Hey, you ever seen Jason
you're
Brewer
bitter.
get beat up? A lot of people have seen that.
Doesn't matter if the story's good or not. You got to tell it anyway.
That happened in bars. There's a dude that
The only people I
Oh,
usually
that's a
see in
no
fights
story.
are my friends, and usually I wind up getting.
Why don't you
Dragged
tell
into
us?
it.
Why don't you tell us a story about your two ex-girlfriends fighting over you? Because
That'd be cool.
I'm sure that
That's a
happened,
fight you
right?
probably saw.
Because no woman who has been with me would fight over me. They usually fight to get rid of me.
All right, tell us about
The
how.
fights usually go, "You take him." No, fuck you, bitch. You take him.
It's your turn.
Fine, Larry. We'll skip you.
Yeah, skip.
Oh, hey, Kevin. Brian Stair was in town for Christmas.
Oh.
I got to talk to him. Didn't get to hang out or anything, but we should see what California time is over there. Maybe get him on.
Oh, that'd be
sometime.
nice. Yeah, that'd be good.
6:30.
30.
Although he'd probably be too cool for us to get on the show.
Me and Larry on the same wavelength right now. First with the arm thing.
Yeah, because you guys
Really need to look that up.
because you guys know time. That's great. All right.
That's like trying to divide
Cease.
300 by 3.
Hold on. 3.
Is that mine?
Carry
Is that mine?
Carry one.
Yeah, cease. Your cease.
All right. Okay, cool.
There's two dots. There's two
I don't know if you guys remember that stupid little dance club. I think it was called Dancing on Brook Park Road.
Yes.
Way back in the day for teenage fucking dumbasses to go.
Or was it the mining company?
The mining
It was
company, I
like
think.
no, it wasn't on the same side. It was on the other side of the street. I
Oh,
think there's
yeah,
some
yeah.
laser thing there now.
They
or
used to
something.
have that
it was like dance or something.
Volleyball
Yeah, they used to have
something.
that weird thing where it was like you drove around a golf cart and tried to play basketball or something.
Yeah,
in it.
volleyballs. there
Yeah,
now.
volleyball.
Oh.
So it's horrible.
Roller ball or something. Well, anyways, when I was there as a dance club, and I went with like two of my friends, and we were trying to scope out some, chicks and stuff. We're, going around. We finally got to talk to these two girls, and we're sitting at this table with them. Well, this big girl comes in, and she's like, she was minding her own business, and the two girls we were with were like, they're like, oh, look at you, and they start talking shit. They knew her, and she was like some tough ass in the school, and they're like, oh, you're not so tough now, you're all by yourself. And she just fucking took out a can of fucking whoop ass. She took these two girls by their fucking hair and she like swinging them around in a circle like a goddamn, looked like something out of a fucking kung fu fight, dude. And she's like, she threw one over a fucking table. She picked up the other one off the ground, threw her on the ground, and we're like, yes, chick fight. So they get up, so they're pulling her hair from either side. She's like trying to swing at them and shit. So she picks up a chair because she couldn't reach the one, fucking hits her in the gut. Boom! The other one, she pulls her hair with her own hand to get her close enough and starts choking her and shit. Oh, it's fucking awesome. It's fucking great. Awesome. That's all I can remember. But, they finally broke it up. But, oh, my God, we were fucking laughing our asses off. We're like, yes! She was a tough bitch.
That's awesome. All right, Oz?
Great.
All right. Most memorable, but I wasn't in 95 probably. I was at a One Life cruise show.
Oh,
and
Here we go.
hardcore show.
That's another good place to get into a fight.
Tell them the truth. One Life Crew's a straight edge band.
Yeah, right.
You got to let them know.
Not all of them are straight edge. A couple of them are straight edge.
Right. I got a story about that.
Yep. They're kind of a political band, and the kids at the time at the show were very. I guess they're pre-emo. I guess you could say they're PC or whatever.
The progenitors of the emo movement.
Exactly. And the band started playing, and a couple of kids started flipping the band off. So the band proceeded to and these guys are burly guys, The band proceeded to jump off the stage and start beating up the audience.
Talk about interact.
Right?
Yes, it was, and it ended up in a big riot. It was pretty nuts. There was probably about 300-400 people there, and the band was just kicking everybody's asses. There was really no security. So.
Right.
And you can see
that was Blaze too, right?
Yes, Blaze was there.
Blaze was in the band.
One Life Crew. Yes.
That's awesome.
So that's probably the most memorable. Yeah, they were beating the living hell out of people.
That was Blaze.
It's just stuck in the crowd. No.
One Life Crew was playing the one night. Blaze was playing with them the one night. He came up to me after the show as they're packing up their stuff. He's like, "Hey, dude, can you get me a sack?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he goes, "All right." He turns around to the other dude. He goes, "Hey, you got $50 on you?" And the dude's like, "Why?" He goes, "Because I want to get some weed." He's like, "Dude, I'm straight edge, man. I ain't giving you no money for that shit." He's just like, "Oh, come on, just give me $50. I'll pay you later." I'm like, "Oh, dude, you're gonna get my ass kicked. What are you doing?" I'm like, "This ain't good." Like, dude, I just know somebody. Fuck.
Bailey?
Oh, man. I guess I gotta start writing this stuff down, huh? Because they, come and go. Fights that I've seen that I wasn't involved in.
Come on,
and we're not talking UFC.
You used to hang out with Eric Butera. You must have seen all kinds of fights.
Yeah, there was plenty of, fighting other high schools and stuff like that. It was funny, too, because, I don't know what it was. Me and Butera's relationship was pretty weird, But I went with him, Al Demko, John Hackadakis, and all the, Joe Hoy, all those guys, the wrestling, football guys, because they were going to go fight some other kids from somewhere. And we go out, we pull out to, the Metro Park somewhere for this, and Eric's just like, "Bill, I want you to just stay in the car." He knew I was a big whip, I was going to get out there and just get beat up. I don't want to see you get hurt. We got this. Let the men go off to war. It's like watching 300 or something, and I was the little boy that they threw in the pit because I was worthless, But, yeah, that was a big craziness. And then, another thing with Eric Butera. I remember one time we were at this comic book shop. I forgot what the name of it was. Don probably remembers. Out in Fairview. It was like, by Fairview Park Square or whatever. I forget what the name of the comic shop was, but we went there quite a few times, and like some kids were like stealing something, and Eric turned them in, or ratted them out to the owner. And then when we're leaving to go out to Eric's car, they were like waiting for us outside. They were going to get their revenge, and they had one of those. What are those like?
Mistake.
Those clubs that you like shake, and a baton that like you just shake it and it opens up or whatever, it expands, whatever those things are called that the police have.
So
the kids
baton,
yeah. So one of the kids is just like, "You ratted on the wrong people or something," and he pulls his baton out, and the other one had nunchucks or something they just had in their little trench coats. And I'm just like, what is going on here? And then Butera just went into berserker mode, and he just picks up these cinder blocks, dude, like from the ground, like
you call that a weapon?
Laptop, yeah. And they're just like, oh shit! And they start running away, and I swear one just missed a dude's head and shattered on the brick wall, like. And I was like. And I'm thinking, dude, if you would have hit him, you would have killed this dude, And I'm just, what's going on here? It was a comic book, But it was, that was pretty crazy. There was plenty of them. I mean, he tried to stab me with a pair of scissors when I said I didn't want to hang out with him anymore, and his dad had to pull him off. It was just like, dude was nuts, man. I supposedly
why.
Supposedly he's in a better place now too, so I don't know.
He was like the nicest guy. Remember when we went to court with him, Bailey? And for all that stuff, we were downtown, and he's a totally nice guy and everything. And then we went to Denny's later, and then something there were other people there, basically, was the problem. And
yeah, they shouldn't have been at Denny's.
Right. When he was there, because then Bailey and I are like leaving and stuff, and Eric comes out and he's like, I think there's going to be a fight. Bailey's like, oh man.
And he had this attorney, man, that just got him out of everything, and he was just like, dude, aren't you going to ever learn,
That's
it's a little bit
funny.
late for the UFC, that's all.
Yeah.
All right. Craziest fight I ever saw, or that I remember, is I was at a hockey game with Mike Forrestal and Kevin Vinoy, and
oh god, I know
it was
this
like
story.
a Lumberjacks game. And Vinoy, like I just talked about earlier, is a loose cannon, and some guys, I don't even think they cut us off or anything. I don't know, but Vinoy yelled something out the window at him, and they said, "Oh yeah, you want to go or something?" Mistake, because the door flies open and Vinoy's outside and Forrestal's outside too, and Vinoy's punching this guy in the face, and then the guy grabs Vinoy around the neck with his arm, and Vinoy's sitting there punching him and stuff, and he's got him in a headlock, but the dude only had one arm. So he's just holding. so Vinoy's fighting this guy.
Vinoy was beating up a dude with one arm.
Right, and the guy was the guy's using his other arm just to hold him in a headlock to reduce the damage and stuff. And Forrestal's looking at the driver of the car, and he's like, "If you jump in, I'm jumping in, dude." And stuff. And I'm in the car with Forrestal's girlfriend, and she's all worried. She's like, "Oh my god," and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not getting out of the car for this.
They don't really need me.
This is just ridiculous, Vinoy didn't live that down
Got
either.
it in hand.
Just
Did I tell you I ran into Vinoy a couple months ago?
No.
And it was kind of funny because, when you get home after a deployment and stuff, the military offers you some family counseling and stuff like that, to because you're transitioning from dad's been gone all this time and blah, 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 and the kids are having, so we go to this family counselor that the military recommended, and we're walking in for our appointment, and who happens to be sitting in the waiting room? but Kevin Vinoy. So I was like, hey, what's up, man? How are you doing? I'm doing good. I'm just like, wow, funny seeing you here.
Did he re-enlist? Did he tell you that at all? Or
yeah, he went and he was joined the army or something.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got his cool
pictures. He's going to unleash him on our enemies.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take care of Al Qaeda. Stick Vinoy on him.
So I know he got out of the Navy because of his hearing. He said he couldn't hear right, and that's how he got out of the Navy. Guess it fixed itself, so he can get into the Army. I don't know.
Well, the Army will just take just about anybody right now, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so this goes now to the earliest fight you can remember. You know, and hopefully Larry will remember something when we get to him. I'm sure he's, can remember one. Brian?
You can go first. No.
God, the first fight that I remember.
The earliest fight you remember.
School.
You could have been
in it. It wasn't much of a fight. I was like, I got my ass kicked.
All right, go ahead. Tell us about it.
The earliest. I'm trying to remember, man. There was just so many times I just fucking had like the local kids around me. Just like there was one time. All right, and this is like the one that was like the most memorable. Is I hung out with these kids who were like way older than me. Okay, they were like damn near 10 years older than I was. And they knew that the kid across the street, Tim, was constantly fucking with me. So they're like, dude, we're going to teach you how to fight, okay? And then we're going to get you to go with this guy, and you're going to fight him. I'm like, I don't want to fight. Like, stop being a pussy. You're going to fucking fight. I'm like, okay, because I don't want them to fight me, Then they hate me, too, and I got no friends. So they're teaching me how to fight, but it was like half-ass. They're like, just see how many fucking stupid things we can make the dorky kid fucking do so he thinks he's fucking fighting. I'm hearing a theme song to fucking Kung Fu in my head, and they're fucking talking about chicks, fucking hockey, stuff like that. Like, okay, go run around the garage a couple times, okay, with this fucking brick on your fucking shoulder. Okay,
Go
fucking
chicken.
stupid. It's fucking dumb, dude. And then it's like, then I thought that they forgot about it because I forgot about it. And they're like, okay, we got him, and he's going to come over here, and you guys got to fight, okay? But we're going to make sure that none of his asshole friends, because he had friends that would just jump in out of nowhere. Like, we're going to make sure that they don't fucking jump in, but you got to fucking fight him, and you got to beat his ass. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm ready to shit my pants, And so he's just like, all right, I guess we're going to fight. Come on, let's fight. Come on, you big pussy, let's fight. And I was just like, and actually fought the kid. And there was no winner. It was like the only time I felt good ever walking away from a fight because I know that I didn't lay down crying in a fucking ball, and it's actually fought back. And that was the last time I actually had any problems with that dude. And my friends were like, see, you just got to fight back, man. And people leave you the fuck alone, which isn't true, by the way. Because if you fight back and you lose, then it's worse.
Yeah.
They'll have no problems kicking your ass later. Okay?
Yeah, all of a sudden it goes from they beat you up because it's fun to now you've pissed them off.
Yeah, and they're going to beat you up because they can.
Yeah.
Because they know you can't defend yourself, So it's like,
Anderson?
Do you want earliest fight I was in or earliest fight that I saw because they're both around the same time?
Either, whichever story you think's better.
All right, I'll tell them both.
And Skype me the other one so I can tell it because I don't remember any.
When I was in kindergarten, when I was a kid, all I did was read comic
Kindergarten?
Yeah, it was in kindergarten. I was in my first fight when I was in kindergarten.
This fucker came at me with safety scissors.
Just because you can't remember yesterday, maybe you can remember fucking...
Just because you never even had a fight, and I was fighting kids in kindergarten. I mean, come on, I'm Scottish. I was also drinking and smoking at the same time, so that's why I wasn't on the playground.
What did you all stand or not?
I'm amazed that the guy that smokes the most dope can remember more than half of us.
All of us. Yeah.
I got even more. Dope and stories. Anyways, so I go around the other side of this building. This kid comes following me around. He's like, I'm going to beat you up. I'm going to beat you up. And the only thing I remember is that, I remember reading this comic book where the Wasp was fighting this dude, and she brought her hand up underneath his chin, and that knocked him out.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So
I see where this is going.
So he came
dropping uppercuts on dude in kindergarten.
So he came up to me, and I went, bam, and I got him, and he went, oh, and then he spit his tooth out. He spit his tooth at me, and I was just like, oh my God. And I was so, because there was two fights when I was a kid. There was this other time when I punched Willie Essen in the face. We went in the woods. I was like, come on, I'm going to fight you. We're going to fight for a minute. I said, I got to practice fighting or something. And we went out there, and I don't remember punching him, but I did. I clocked him right in the face, and I remember looking back at him, and he had blood coming from his nose, and I felt so bad for him because I was like, we're friends. I didn't mean to really make you bleed or nothing. And so those two experiences made me not want to fight because, both times I hurt the people, and I was just like, oh my God, I didn't mean to do that. So it kind of ruined me. But if I could real quick, I remember my dad saying one day, he's like, come on, we're going up to McDonald's to get dinner. And I was like, this is when I was 4 or 5, something like that. I was like, yay! And I got in the car. So we come driving around the corner, and we get up by the park, and all of a sudden he stops the car. He turns it around. He starts heading back to the house. I'm like, what's going on? We got to go get McDonald's. We got to go get McDonald's. He's like, that motherfucker. I was like, what the hell is going on? Right? It's me and my brother in the car. So he comes pulling around the corner, doesn't get all the way home. He stops the car. He gets out. All I hear is, you motherfucker, you got a problem with me? I'm like, what is going on? And all of a sudden, I'm like 4 or 5 years old, sitting in the back seat of the car, and my dad took this dude and put him up against the window and was popping him in the face. Was just like pounding on him. Was like, you motherfucker, you flipped me off. Or I don't know, screaming, you fucking I'll fucking kill you. You know? And I'm just like, wow. And then like the dude turns around, his face is all up against the window and stuff, and my dad's like choking him out. So I was like,
Your dad, you're looking up at the guy your dad's killing. He's just like, come on, kids.
I'm looking at
the good side.
I'm looking at the guy like, dude, you just ruined my chance to get McDonald's. I hope you get your ass kicked. So, but that was like the first fight I ever witnessed. So it's awfully cool to watch your dad beat the shit out of somebody.
Unless it's you.
Unless it's me, which I can tell those stories too. But go ahead.
And then my dad started choking me out.
He did. After he hit me with the curtain rod.
Larry?
Unlike Brian's first fight story, mine largely did center on me curled up in the fetal position whimpering. The first one I remember was elementary school. There are only a few moments of it that really stand out because it was a routine of getting beat up by the same bully every day. But I do remember the one time where and this was at an early age where I started to think maybe that some of that stuff I saw on wrestling was fake because those moves hurt a lot because he used a lot of them on me. and I remember at one point we were like out on the playground, like over. It was after school. We were over by like the baseball diamond, and he got me in this like fucked up sort of like Boston Crab sort of deal, which will fuck you up badly. And he like finally gets off me. I'm like laying there like because like my knees all fucking twisted, and I just look up and I see him climbing up onto this little fence we used to jump to get to that part of the playground, about to use it like the top rope. He like gets up on top of the fence and just jumps at me. And at that point, I at least managed to like roll myself up into like sort of the fetal position, but with my feet pointed up, so I buried him in his stomach, which just pissed him off, and he beat me up worse.
It's totally like a wrestling move.
Yeah.
He's reversed. He's got the feet up. Oh my god. Good God, my balls palsy.
Cease.
It's horrible.
It was third grade. I was on a soccer field, and we're all playing and shit. And this one guy, he was always on the fucking like team, the soccer teams, and all
Like
this
the
shit.
Walkers.
And, yeah, he was always on the travel team and the regular team. Real fucking asshole. I can't think of his Harper, his last name. Anyways, this motherfucker, he's good. Don't get me wrong. And they put me on the defense. Like, all right, you're gonna defend him. He's coming. I'm like, all right, here we go. And he fucking starts getting past me, so I grab his jersey, because, I don't know what I'm doing, I fucking rip a big fucking hole in it. He's like, you motherfucker, you just ripped my shirt. I'm like, I didn't mean to. It's an accident. That motherfucker, he falls off and punches me right in the fucking sternum. I'm like, I thought he shot my fucking spirit right out of my throat. Oh, fuck me, man. That hurt so fucking bad. I'm laying on the ground. I'm like, these guys are coming up to me like, dude, aren't you going to go kick his ass? I'm like, kick his ass for me. I can't breathe.
Yeah, that sucks.
Oh, dude, it hurt for like 2 fucking hours. He's just walking away. I'm like laying on the grass. Harping like a fucking catfish,
Oz?
Yeah, it was probably like third grade. And there was this kid on my street, and he was like the troublemaker of the street. He'd always like go around people's houses, like poke holes in their screens, and with sticks and shit like that. Just bad, always in trouble.
Was it Vinoy?
So, no. This was in Cleveland, and let's see, we were in my backyard playing with a couple other kids, like on the swing set and shit. And this kid comes in the backyard wanting to hang out and stuff. I'm like, no, you can't be here. You're not allowed, because my dad didn't want him in our yard, because he's a little shit. So I told him he had to leave. So he goes and punches me right in the face. Then he takes off running.
Well behaved,
my earliest memory. Yeah. That's my earliest memory. It wasn't a fight, but he punched me.
You got jacked. You got jacked in the face and fucking.
Yep.
Bailey?
Yeah, that sucks. It's a bunch of shit.
Well, Oz just reminded me of something, because my memory's horrible. I don't know. Maybe it's all the blows to the head or whatever. But yeah, that too. I
always like to say you're living in the moment.
I remember the first time I met Mario Scarsapino, and this was like in kindergarten. It just like got introduced to him, like, "Hi, my name's Bill. What's your name?" And he's like, "My name's Mario." And then he just slapped me in the face. It's like some Italian thing or something. I don't know. And I'm just like, "Why did you hit me?" And this is like back we were in kindergarten. We know each other since
your
then.
friend.
My name's Billy. What's your name? I'm Mario. Smack.
That's funny.
I got the pimp hand from him. So that was one of my earliest recollections, I guess.
Okay. I don't have any that's that young, because my memories failed me on, especially anything early in my life. It's all gone. But ninth grade, well, in California there was a gang fight in our parking lot, but that was weird.
I gotta hear about that now.
It was like Elm Street versus the Playboys, but I didn't get to see most of it, because there was like they told us like, you cannot go, past this thing, and the whole school was freaking out because there was a stupid gang fight in the parking lot.
Of course, the Playboys were involved.
Yeah, that was right around the Crips and Bloods era.
Then the Jets showed up.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was.
And the baseball, I can't think
Dude, all I was thinking was Nightmare on Elm Street and shit. I was like, Elm Street, that's cool. Playboys, what's that? So anyway.
Bunch of Freddy Kruegers show up.
But in ninth grade, when I repeated ninth grade, there was a fight between Mitch Fadul and I think it was Jim Neitzel. Is that right? And it was like we were in OWA, which meant we got out of school early, so we were following Neitzel out of the class, and he was going to meet Mitch Fadul between that. The middle school and the high school has this big green that's between the two areas, and it kind of has like some low hills, but like right in the middle, you can basically not be seen by the administration on either side. And I guess they decided they'd fight there. And Mitch Fadul was a much bigger guy than Jim Knight. I mean, it was just like, it was no way Neitzel was going to win this fight. But for whatever reason, I don't know why they were fighting. They were there, and there was like a bunch of us OWA kids standing there. And
was I there?
I don't know if you were there, because you would have probably joined in. And no, I don't know. So Neitzel could throw a punch. Like they start off like
this looks like an opportunity for me to get beat up. Let me jump in.
Yeah, Neitzel took off his leather jacket, and I sat there, and Neitzel could throw a punch. He hit Fadul like 3 times really hard in the face. And I was like, wow, it's like boxing. But then Fadul grabbed him, and then it was just over. Like he just took him down and just started with
these fell on top of him.
Yeah, just big kidney punches, like bam, 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 and you could hear Neitzel like, "Get this guy off!"
Fadul was just like a blob.
Yeah,
he was just like a walking blob.
Right, but he was big.
Huge.
What bitch? I remember Butera always taunting him. What bitch?
Yeah, I remember watching him. I remember watching Fadul trying to chase him through the lunch line. And Butera was just laughing at him the whole time. He's like, "Come on, you're gonna come get me!" Just like, holy
There's something wrong with that fucking town.
Like if he gets you, it's like, dude, I know I can understand you're getting away, but if he gets you,
yeah, that's what happened to Neitzel. He got him and fucked him up pretty good. And the whole time though, I think once Fadul had him and he beat him, he didn't know what to do after that point. So he started saying things like, "You're pretty cool, Neitzel. I don't know why we got to fight like this." Like you're trying to soften it so you don't have to fight him again or something in the future. So that was pretty crazy. So I think we'll skip the one part and we'll just keep going with fight stories because I think we got a few more we want to get through before we run out of time. So this will be any other additional fight stories that you can remember. Brian, do you have any more? Baird?
I got into a fight when I was in the Navy. That pretty much sucked.
All right.
That was like a no-win situation. It was like some dude, some guy borrowed my shit, right? Yeah, like my overnight bag or something like that. I can't fucking remember what the hell it was. And I was sleeping, and I was in the top. We had, like,
this is a funny story.
Yeah, you know this story. So I'm like in a top bunk. Bailey he knows this because like in a ship there's like 3 bunks. There's the top one, the middle one, and the bottom one. I was on the top one, and I was out cold. And I mean, thank God I wasn't jacking off because it'd been really fucking embarrassing, right? But my fucking curtain just flings back, and I woke up. I was like, what the fuck? And I go to fucking pull the curtains back because I didn't know what the hell had happened. I thought I was fucking around. And this dude fucking grabs me by the arm and starts twisting my arm. And it was the guy who borrowed my fucking bag was kind of a douchebag, but I let him borrow because I'm like, I work with the guy. I'm like, where are you going to go? He needed a bag or something. But when he gets drunk, he gets really fucking violent. And he just decided at that moment needed me to be beaten out of my fucking rack. And I was like half awake and didn't know what the fuck was happening. And I tend to like lash out if somebody fucking like hurts me in my sleep. I like,
Yeah, wasn't he just fucking with you with the curtain? Like he would open it and you would close it and then he would open it and then you like grabbed, I think you grabbed, the original story is you grabbed his hand and then jived out of the bunk onto him. But
he grabbed my fucking arm and I started twisting it. He might have done it twice. I don't remember, but because I told you it shortly after it happened.
Right.
So that's probably how it went. But I went to close it and then he grabbed and started twisting my arm and I'm like, motherfucker. So I went to fucking punch him in the face, forgetting I was in the top fucking rack. Like just flying out, landed on top of him.
Superfly.
The fucking guy is like, get the fuck off me, you stupid fucker. God damn it. You're in your underwear. What the fuck? And I'm like trying to fucking like figure out what the fuck's going on. And I'm like fighting the guys in the bunk, like on the bottom. You just heard the 2 curtains roll back and you're like, God damn it, knock it the fuck up, Baird, you stupid fucker. Get back in your bunk. What the, fucking finally got separated and shit. But I was just like, what the fuck, man? He's just like, next time you just fucking do what I tell you to do. I'm like, what the fuck did you want? I just need the keys. I was gonna fucking put your bag back. And I'm like, goddamn dumb motherfucker, And
you beat up another guy too, right? Because he was fucking with you in boot camp in the laundry room or something like that. I remember that story too, vaguely. Some guy was
that wasn't really much of a fight though. That was just some dude who kept fucking. He wouldn't. They put me kind of in charge, and this one dude would never fucking do what I fucking told him to do. And we were in the laundry room and shit. And I got his ass alone in the laundry room because I told the guys I was like, look, I'm gonna fucking hit this dude. Fucking.
I'm glad I wasn't in the Navy with you, man. It was all about you getting guys' asses alone in the laundry room and wrestling with guys in your underwear.
Yeah, as opposed to what you do in the Army. Did you fight anybody in the Army? No.
Yeah, it's not gay. Hey, it's not gay when you're underway.
Yes, in full BDUs. We weren't like jumping guys in our underwear.
Laser fucking tag weapons. So fucking for real fights.
Oh yeah, all the time, dude. A lot of my missions were
Gladiator
classified.
over there or something.
Classified. They didn't know where the fuck you were.
In the Navy, we used to have these sword fights in our bunks.
Called AWOL.
Yeah, I actually started winning some fights in the Navy. It was like
that's when because I couldn't fight.
When the metamorphosis happened,
Dude, you have to fight. It's like you have to fight because the people keep fucking with you so much. It's like if you don't fight, they just keep fucking with you until you finally just snap. You're like, "Fuck you, motherfucker!" And you go and you just start beating people up.
Once you silence that little voice of fear, then it becomes.
Yeah, you're like, shut up! I can't take this shit any fucking more. That's pretty much right from the get go. I'm like, if I don't fucking fight this dude now, I'm gonna have to fucking deal with this shit. Because I already heard from other dudes, like, if, you're gonna have to fight somebody eventually. I'm like, oh fucking, trying to poop my pants. Because it's like when you're gonna get into a fight, you get all like, oh fuck, I'm gonna throw up.
And you got a new start where it's like you're used to everybody knows you as a pussy back home, and you get beat up, and so you convince yourself you are a pussy, and you can't try and prove nothing. So then it's like you got new opportunity to try and like grow your man wings or something,
Yeah, something. You don't want to fucking because you remember high school. You're like, this shit is not going to happen all over again.
Yeah, I'm not doing this here.
Not fucking putting up with this again, man. Been working
America's
out for fucking
finest.
6 months straight.
Yeah. We're America's fighting Navy,
Dude, I'm just saying, like, I didn't want to have to fucking deal with another goddamn life full of fucking people just dicking with me. I'm like, needless to say, I didn't know that it just happens everywhere you go anyway. You're in the military, no matter where the fuck you go, you got to fucking, throw down with somebody. So.
Unfortunately, with me, I came back and it was just like I couldn't click back on the safe,
Yeah, all right.
Especially when I got alcohol.
It took me a while to get human too, man. When I got out, I was just like, all right, I'm done. All
right. Anderson, any more stories?
Yes. Am I on? Yeah, I forgot if I was muted or not. when I was younger, I used to get beat up a lot. I used to get like picked on. And my one brother, he's a black belt in Taekwondo. And he was like teaching at the school and stuff, so he's a big time tough guy. And
Gene Simmons, right?
No, not Bobby. I mean, they're all three of them are black belts now, but this is my brother Ian, who was in the driving video.
That was awesome.
I was talking to him one day. I was like, man, I always, these guys, I don't do anything, and they always beat me up, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I'll tell you what, man. He goes, you know what? It's all in your head. He's giving me like this whole big speech. It's just like, if you believe in your head that you could beat somebody, and you have the confidence, and you have this, and da-da-da-da-da, you can do it. If you need to be able to look up, stand up tall, and say to yourself, I can beat the hell out of you anytime I want. So the next day, I was walking home from school, and I was walking with Tim McCurdy, and I was like, you know what, dude? I could beat the hell out of Chuck Vinci. And Chuck Vinci was across the street, and Tim goes, hey, Chuck! Down here says he can beat the hell out of you. And it's not how it was supposed to go. You know what I mean? It was supposed to be more of like, if he bothers you, or if you're like in that situation, you're supposed to say to yourself, okay, I can beat the hell out of this guy. It's not like you're supposed to go
complete my
like, hey.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't done yet.
So the next thing I remember is I couldn't see anything because the sun was. I couldn't remember anything because the sun was blinding me because I was on my back and it was right above my head, and I was getting pummeled about the face and head. Chuck Vinci.
Damn. All right.
So that's a good one. And then I got another good one, but I'll let everybody go around first.
All right, Larry, do you have any more?
Actually, Don's thing with his dad whooping asses on the way to McDonald's made me think this one. When I was little, I always used to play football down at the end of the street. There's this park, and a bunch of us would play football. And it was one of those few moments in life where it was just clicking, and I was having a great game. And after, like, my fourth interception of the game, I remember the other team just got pissed, and, like, the receiver that I was covering, like, grabbed me and threw me down and said, "You're out of bounds," and just started yelling. And, like, basically his whole team just jumped on me and started kicking my ass. And the cool guys that I was playing with on my team basically scattered and ran home, leaving me to get my ass beat. But my cousin was there, and he, like, ran down the block to my house, and my dad showed up with a baseball bat, just, like, swinging it like a sword at a bunch of fucking kids who are all like, "I'm going to tell my dad." He's like, "Go on and send them." And my dad refused to, like, leave the park with me. He's like, "We're standing here and waiting in case they show up." and I know, like, Brian and Bailey at least have seen my dad, and he is not in any way scary or, my dad is like Santa Claus. It makes me look
like that back then too.
he wasn't as gray as he is now, but he still made me look in shape. So he's like standing over me with this baseball bat. "Go bring your dads."
Like Gimli.
Oh, that's great.
All the fucking rotund
That's
dudes
the
get mad, dude.
Stuff, yeah.
Cease?
Yeah, I remember once.
Hey, real quick, I hate to interrupt you, but do you guys mind if I take my pants off? Because I just got back from church and I'm uncomfortable. And
Just do. Why you got to tell us? Just do it.
Yeah, none of us would have known, dude. You're not on webcam.
At least I hope.
oh, okay.
Got really gay now.
Yeah, thanks for throwing that in after Brian's wrestling in his underwear story.
That's
Now,
what motivated
now Bailey wants to take his pants off.
It inspired me.
So I'll just get naked.
All right, Cease, continue.
And then we'll jerk off in his socks watching.
I'm going to pinch my nipples a little bit, too.
Oh, God. Thanks for that vision. Anyway, I was in a football game. I was against Berea. I was in Strongsville at the time. And we were playing a Friday night game. And at the time, I was on the offensive line. And this guy on the other, on their defense side kept on punching me underneath the fucking face mask, trying to get past me. And it's like, bam, bam. And you got a mouth guard in there. So it's not, I mean, yeah, you could feel it. I mean, he had those little hand pads on, so it wasn't horrible. But it was pissing me off because, you're not supposed to do that shit. And I'm telling the referee, I'm like, "Hey, dude, this guy's punching me in the face." "Oh, I didn't see nothing." I'm like, "Figures," and almost every fucking play. So finally I went, we were off the field and then our defense was on. I was talking to my coach. I'm like, "Dude, this guy keeps on punching me in the face. What do I do?" He goes, "Well, fucking punch him." I'm like, all right, no problem. He goes, make sure it's good though, you know. I'm like, all right. So we get out there and like the first play, and, you know, because you're on the offensive line, you know when to start. So you know they just kind of wait until you start moving. I fucking had my hand all the way back, like you got one arm on the ground, my other hand was like behind my ass. I wanted to fucking hit him so hard. You know? He said hike, and I fucking took his fucking helmet off, and it fucking back, and they pulled him off the fucking line. They had to carry him out. It was fucking great. Fucking great. I don't even think we did. I think we fumbled on that play, but it was still a great fucking day.
Oz?
All right, once again, I'm at a show.
Which violent band was it this time?
Schnauzer.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. Now you're talking.
I'm at Schnauzer at Speak in Tongues on Lorraine Avenue, and Speak in Tongues is a place where you can take your own. It's BYOB. You can, they have no security.
This is the Nazi one, ain't it?
Huh? Yeah.
Is this the Nazi
Skinheads.
one?
Oh, yeah, I
you
heard
there?
this story. Bailey, you told me about it the next day.
You were there, Bill?
Yeah, dude, I was in there. I was actually fighting with Blaze with these guys.
Nice.
I remember I grabbed the one guy's
all right, come on.
I pulled him back and let him go.
Tell the story first, then interject. So people
maybe
know.
Bill can help me because I don't remember exactly how it started. Do you remember how it started?
Dude, they started Zig Heiling right there in the middle of the pit, and they're
That's
just
right.
like, what
Skinheads.
is going on?
Being
What is wrong
assholes.
with these clowns? Yeah, just being idiots, trying to overpower kids in the pit, and then they just started their Zig Heil stuff, and it was just like, I was there with you, Frank, Blaze, and, man, I can't remember who else was there, but I had my beer muscles on at the time, too, and Blaze led the charge, so then I was inspired. I'm like, if I go behind Blaze, most of them will be wiped out by the time I get up there. I remember, like, the one dude, like, back on he almost fell into Kanye's drum sets, and I'm on top of him, and I'm punching the dude, and then I, like, grab his shiny red suspenders, because they like to wear those things, and I just pull him back and snapped him back on his...
It's like a fucking
I think Tony Urban, like, pulled a knife and tried, like
the Cajun
him.
guy.
Well, I know Kanye got cut with a knife.
Yeah, I
at the
remember
show.
Urba pulled a knife out on him or something, I think, and they all got, like, pretty much run out.
And I know Schnauzer, they had a weight bench on the stage because they have that song Prison Weight Room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
And you got a bench press while the song's going on.
Yes, and I believe, didn't the bench get thrown off the stage?
Yeah, I
Jesus.
think so. Yeah, it was crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
If you're picking
and
up the
all
weight
skinheads-
bar.
And I remember Blaze coming back. I just remember seeing Frank standing there with a 12-pack of beer in one hand and punching people with his other hand.
Was the band playing at the time? Was the band still playing while the Rumble was? Really?
No.
Well, then they stopped when it got, like, really crazy. But I remember Steve Eggs has a bunch of camera angles, has different angles of it. He, like, videotaped it. So there's, like, video out there. It was pretty funny.
I remember Blaze coming out of it, and he's covered in blood. And I'm like, dude, are you okay? He's like, it ain't my blood. I'm like, God damn. So, yeah, it was pretty nuts.
I remember that because Bailey, you came home and you were yelling about something. You like threw up all over the house. I remember because I almost tripped over the fucking shop vac the next morning. I was like, "The fuck happened last night, man?" Next day, you're like, "Dude, it was a crazy show. There was a huge brawl." I'm like, "Fuck, I missed that." Had to work though.
Yeah, it
Crazy.
was bad.
Bailey?
Yeah, it was funny the way you told it though.
Yeah, I guess I can go back to the one I wrote down, the Cleveland Police Department deal. It was back when I think I first just got home from the military, and they were having like a Buzzard Palooza. It was like their first ever Buzzard Palooza thing down at Nautica, down the flats. And I think that's when Mario and Corber were living down in the flats or whatever. But, you know, we're walking outside the venue or whatever, and then there's these cop cars or cop bikes on bikes, you know, like going through the crowd, you know, have everybody to move and this and that. And I had a couple beers in me, so I'm just like, I'll pretend I don't hear them behind me, you know? I'm just going to walk in their way because I'm cool like that, you know?
That's what makes you Bill Bailey.
Yeah, and then, so then one of them, like, brushed, you know, brushed up against me because I was an idiot and wouldn't get out of the way. And I'm just like, yo, what's up, man? What are you doing? Look, watch where you're going, two cops, Next thing I know, dude, it was just like the white cop brushed into me, but the black cops were on me like, flies to crap, man, or whatever, I mean, they were just, and I remember him saying, "You're the one that said, motherfuck the police, weren't you? You're the one that, as I'm being contorted in all kinds of different ways that my body isn't supposed to go, and like club shots and more blows to the head." And I end up being locked up in a paddy wagon with the zip ties and everything, and it was bad, man. I was messed up for a little while after that.
Wow.
But yeah, that's.
He's better. We all just get along.
I have a silly one that I was at. Remember when No Excuses had the metal bar?
Yeah.
And there was like a fight that happened in there, and I was actually in there with Jason Corber, and he was trying to break the fight up, but that dude weighs about 100 pounds or something, so he's like holding on to the back of this guy, and this guy's like, he's like fighting and swinging around, and Jason he's like a tail almost, he's like, ah! And he's like holding on, trying to pull the guy off and stuff, and I'm just kind of laughing, and then like somebody told Scott Manley that there was a fight going on, and I mean, can anybody take Scott Manley? I mean, the guy is like, what, 6'6" or something, and like,
he's a big boy,
400 pounds or something. I mean, he's just big, and he's like,
but
what?
Teddy bear.
And he just like grabs the guy. And
unless he's pissed, he's not a teddy bear then.
Yeah, if you were,
he's a fucking grizzly bear.
If you were fucking around, he would have you outside before you even knew what was going on. Because he
got my
was
truck
like a big show, man.
Yeah,
he got in my truck. He fit.
He was a big boy. So yeah, it was just funny. Because I mean, it's like, why even bother? Just call Manley over. Be like, dude, there's a fight. Manley just whoever it is would just throw him out. So. That's all I got there. You know what? I haven't actually witnessed too many fights. Most of the things, like Bailey, I could like sit here and be like, "What was that time where people were heckling you while you were doing karaoke and you dived off the stage onto their table?"
I heard about that too. That's fucking great.
Oh yeah, that was another after the Navy. I'm suddenly like Eric. I channeled Butera or something after he left the country or whatever. I don't know what happened, but it was back in the beginning of my now destroyed relationship with my kid's mother, but we were out with Mario Scarsapino, Mike Wellman, Forrestal, and all our significant others and stuff. So I was trying my hardest to swoon my girl at the time because she loved Dave Matthews, and I guess when I drank, I thought I sounded pretty good, when I was doing songs. These dudes were sitting there at the front table just like heckling me, and I'm just like, I'm trying to impress my woman, what are you doing, and then next thing I know, dude, I just like I like dove off the stage. I went into like Dan James berserker mode and like right into their table. The table knocked over. I'm punching these dudes. It's flipped it, the table flips, and Mario and all those guys aren't fighters, and they're like, I'm not going to jump in to help Bill. He's an idiot. Why do you do that? So then I end up getting like pummeled, and then the cops are called, and I'm put in the backseat of the car, and it was pretty bad. I guess there was like a pregnant woman sitting close to the table, like wanted to. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's her fault. But anyway,
so Vinoy beats up one-armed guys, and you beat up pregnant chicks.
Well, she was, I guess, close to the area. When I knocked over the one table and everybody started getting up to get on me, she was at a table behind them, and they like bumped into her. But because I was the precursor or whatever, that got thrown when I'm sitting in the back of the cop car. My wife's pregnant. This moron jumps off the stage, and they're like, well, what's she doing at the bar? But yeah, it was that.
Since I got all you guys here, were any of you there when No Excuses had that brawl where Bruler had to go to the hospital afterwards because he got hit with a chair in the head or an ashtray or something?
I heard about it, but that's it.
Yeah, I heard about it, but I don't know anybody that was there.
I wasn't there.
I think I may have been there because that sounds familiar. But when I was there, dude, I wasn't there mentally, I mean, as much as I was drinking, I was just like, what happened?
Yeah, we all got pretty fucking
to the hospital?
lit up.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that.
Kevin, I know you're dying to tell this story, so if you want to get it out there, you want to tell about our little Manchuak episode.
That wasn't a fight. That's funny, though.
I know. But you want to. Come on, this is your radio show. Everybody loves what you're doing on here. Tell them about the time you karate kicked me in the face.
I gotta hear this one.
That wasn't even really a fight. Bill was just making fun of my girlfriend. We went out back, and then we were gonna fight, and then I just kicked him in the face, and then he's like, "Why are you kicking me?" And I was like, "It's we're fighting. You're making fun of my girlfriend." He's like, "You were like, I didn't think it was a real fight and stuff," and I was like, And then we just kind of ended it and stuff. But then you were like...
You told me that story, and I was just like, dude, I thought you guys were friends, man. What the fuck? And he's just like, I don't know.
Well, get to go back in and chop broccoli.
Did you do that to Bates, too, or something?
Bates and I fought we fought with pads outside a party because he kept fucking with Bruler.
What are you doing?
He kept kicking Bruler in the head and stuff. And I was like, dude, you want to fight? Let's just fight outside. I got pads and stuff. So we were like fighting. I was doing karate, and he just kept...
That was that crazy
He
party,
hit me
man.
really hard. He because I wasn't protecting my head, and he totally smashed me in the face. But then, I roundhouse kicked him in the stomach, and then he was like, all right, because he did the siege thing where he's out of breath. He's like,
That's it.
Yeah, he's like, that's enough. And I was like, all right. But that was dumb.
Yeah, that's when I left that party, and then I came... I called you up later, and you're like, dude, I got cops all over this fucking place. People were fucking stealing shit downstairs, and I was like, oh my God, what the fuck did I miss?
That's funny.
Was that Jamestown?
Yeah. There was a couple of times we had the
you were on a second floor.
We had the BB gun. Then they were shooting at stuff, and then Kim Jandeka was over, and then her dad was a cop, and so he was at the door, and he's like, "Can we come in and search the house?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want anybody in because my dad's not here." And the house was full of kids, everybody's partying and stuff, and then somebody snuck the gun out. That was one party, and then there was the other party that I had people over, and Bates and Bruler and a couple other people went out and stole stuff out of people's cars and then left it in a pile in my living room floor, and then left. And Vinoy had the stereo, and that was fucked up. People had to get interviewed by the police and shit. I've talked about that in the past.
I did. Yeah, that sucked.
It totally sucked.
Can you please come to the police station? No. Yeah.
I remember the guy downstairs was like, I was going up, and
he was
I was
irate.
coming in, and he's just like, were you at that fucking party last night or 2 nights ago? And Kevin just got done telling me on the phone about what the fuck happened, And the guy lived downstairs was like some biker. He was not a small dude, but this is my fucking brother. So I looked at him like, it's being handled. Calm down, all right? It's being fucking handled. Relax. Because I was, like Bailey said, I was just out of the Navy, so I was fucking completely stupid. It didn't ever occur to me this guy could have had a shotgun behind his back and, part of some fucking white supremacist group ready to fucking let daylight through me. I was just like, just calm down, all right? It's a fucking kid. We could kick his ass. We didn't even know. Half those people didn't even know. They just showed up, and then we kicked them out, and then they stole stuff. We're all over. We'll get you whatever's going to happen. Well, they better fucking have yeah, whatever, man.
Okay, so we got probably time for 2 more rounds, depending on how many stories everybody's got. So, Brian, do you have any more?
What? Any more fight? No,
Yeah.
I was just remember we were talking about what it's like before you get into a fight,
right?
Where you feel like you're going to throw up and shit,
right?
Oh, yeah.
You get all, especially if you're in school and you
You gotta
after
wait
school,
for
man, I'm
it.
going to kick your fucking ass, and you're
Yeah.
like, you got 7 hours to go.
You get all
Yeah, 3 o'clock high.
Yeah, the 3 o'clock
Gotta
high
think about
syndrome.
that
Yeah.
shit off, and dudes in the hobby are you going to fight that guy? No.
No, you know what sucks? When you get popped in the nose, and then your eyes are all watering, and people are like, look, he's crying.
Yeah, look at the pussy. I'm like, dude.
You might as well be because it's just embarrassing.
Yeah, that's
Jesus.
the worst part of it is the embarrassment of the whole thing. You don't care about the fight. You care about everybody
and shit.
watching
Fucking,
you get your ass
you're
kicked.
going to lose. It's going to be fucking. You just don't want this guy to fucking make a rep on your fucking crying ass. You're like, it's going to be shitty the way any way I look at it. But fucking hell, is it got to be like this? And you're just like, you're like, you got to poop all the fucking time. You're like, oh, your stomach's making noises. You're like, stop it.
And people always remember the fights. You'll never let that shit go. They'll be bringing it up. Look, we're bringing it up 20 years later on a fucking show. It's
You're trying to find out what door he goes out, so you don't even care if the other door is facing way the fucking wrong way to go home. You're going out. You'll cross that fucking creek full of all that fucking shit in it just to get the fuck away. You're like, I'm not fighting him. People can call me a coward, fine, but I'm not going to get all beat up for this guy. But it doesn't matter because you forget. You go back to school the next fucking day, and you got another fucking 8 hours. That guy going, pussy.
Yeah, but you're never ready. It's the ones you're not ready for.
I know where your last class is. I'm going to skip. I'm going to be there.
It's like when you're just walking in the hallway or something, and you're just like, you're thinking about stuff, and then there's like somebody there that just now is the time they're going to beat you up or something, and you're just like, oh, fuck,
Yeah, but I did that one time in school. I fucking was supposed to meet this kid after school. I'm like, fuck it. I might as well just get it over with. So I fucking showed up. Dude never showed up.
You're probably watching you from a car or something. He showed up. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but that was all right, dude, because the next time I was just like, where the fuck were you, chicken shit? I was there. And some people I know saw me there, so I was like,
Oh, good
then
God.
it was everybody on top of that guy. I was like, good, make them pay attention to him.
All right.
I'm not the fucking low boy here.
Swell, you got any more?
Oh, I got a good one for you. You ready for this?
Yeah.
In 6th grade, I fought Kevin Rom.
Really?
Yeah. Wasn't much of a fight. One day in school, I was getting a drink out of the asshole. I was getting a drink out of the drinking fountain. He was behind me, and he like pushed me. He was like, "Come on!" And I like hit my mouth on the fountain thing, and I was just like, turned around. I was like, "Hey, you idiot!" And he was like, "Whatever, I'll fight you." I was like, I'm like, "You're an idiot. Why would you do that, idiot or whatever?" And I tried to like kick him or something. He was like, "I'll fight you," and I was like, "All right, I'll fight you." And then somebody heard it, and then it was like 10 minutes later, we were like, "Yeah, I don't really think I want to fight you," but like the class already heard it, and everybody was like, "They're fighting," and we're like, "Oh fuck, we got to fight." Yeah. So. It wasn't great. I think we had to go through like 3 different yards. We started in like one yard, and then the lady came out. She's like, "Get out of my yard!" So we had to go down a couple houses, and like the whole time, me and him were trying to like stall. We're like, "Well, maybe we can get out of this. Maybe we can get out of this." And everybody's like, "All right, come on, fight! Come on, fight!" And then we got the next yard, and then the guy comes out. He's like raking his leaves. He's like, "Get out of my yard, you little punk!" You're like, "Oh fuck!" We go down like 2 houses down. He's like, "Get out of that yard too!"
Do the Kevin Nash. I'll poke you with my finger. You lay down. I get the 3 count.
Right. Well, basically what happened was like I got him in a headlock, and it was like a good headlock, with his face up front by me, so I could just sit there and start pounding on him. But like I felt so bad doing it that I kind of like let it go a little bit and just got the top of his head and was like Roy Nelson was doing to Kimbo Slice, just kind of like was popping him on the top of his head real lightly, like, "Yeah, this looks good, and everybody was like, hit him, and then his mom showed up. And she was like, "I can't believe you two are fighting. Oh, my God." Because we were like the best of friends and stuff. And we're like, "Yeah, we don't understand why we were doing it either." But we did it, and nobody really
You're
won.
not allowed over anymore.
His mom's driving away, his little brother staring at me out the back window like, giving me the
He used to love you, Donnie.
Like, someday.
You were family.
He's like, someday I will avenge my brother's fight with you. It's like, "All right, Dan, I'll catch you later." Now you go out and party with him. Those probably didn't even remember.
Well, I'm sure he remembers.
Larry? Any more?
Another lame one, just because, I don't know. Just because that's how I roll. Just because you reminded me of it with your, kung fu exposition against Bailey. It was like in 7th or 8th grade, and I don't even remember how it started. I think it basically came down to me and a friend of mine both liked the same girl, so everyone decided we needed to fight over her, but neither of us were like all that interested. Particularly since if you like a girl and I like a girl, you automatically win because I don't get girls. And so after school we wound up like outside and we're like, "You want to just say we fought and like whatever.
No, get over here, take your beating."
But then, but other people had found out about the fight that we never actually agreed to, so they showed up and we're like, "Oh, I guess we have to fight now, don't we?" And because neither of us wanted to be there, it turned into like this bad sumo wrestling thing where we're just like grappling and shoving each other. Like, "Dude, you want to just go down and I'll win?" And it was like, "Well, how about if you go down and I'll win?" "Well, I'm not going to go down. You should go down and I'll win. Because, I'm the one she actually likes." "Well, no, that's dumb, because you get her, so I should at least get the win in the fight." "Well, that's stupid." So then our, lame shoving, grappling, grabbing thing turned into us, like, trying to get each other into, like, headlocks and, like, full Nelsons and banging each other's heads into like the side of the school building, and eventually, after, like, what for all our young fans at home who are convinced from hearing all our exploits that the average fight is guys flying around on kung fu wires, most of it is you fighting for about 30 seconds until you're both out of breath, and then we just like stood around. Yeah, we're like grabbing each other, shoving each other, and then after like we fought maybe 2 minutes, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, you can win, I don't care. I'm just going home. So yeah, that was my dumb retarded fight I didn't want to be in.
Cease?
Kevin will have to help me remember why this started, but I think I was giving him the razz while he was there with one of his girlfriends. We were at this meteor shower.
Oh my god! What are these weak fights that I'm involved in all the time? All right, yeah.
And I don't know what the hell it was. I think I was just razzing him. I don't know. I wasn't being an ass, or I don't think I was. But he just like jumped on my back and gave me this fucking chokehold. He's like, "God damn it, Don, give up. And I'm like, never. I got my fucking hand underneath his arm. My face is sideways, turning all red. He's ripping my ear off. He's like, give up already. God damn it, give up. And I finally get my fucking hand. I finally get my arm in there, peel him off my head. He kind of sits back down. We're looking at each other like, fuck you. I remember. I think I just pointed at him and walked away or something.
Yeah, that was weird.
I don't even know why it started.
Cease and I will have outbreaks like that where we'll just be in the car and stuff, and we'll just get cranky or something. And I'll be like, "You want to get out? Get out of the car!" Never mind, just drive. It's just stupid shit like that.
I don't know. That was Kevin's turn. Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? I don't even remember what started. It was just fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And then like 10 minutes later, we're all fucking sitting around bullshitting.
Weird. All right, Oz.
Yep, I'm at No Excuses. It's closing time.
Who's playing?
And nobody's playing this time.
Oh, okay.
Burner. No.
I'm with who am I with? Rom and Packard and Chris Hollis, and I don't know. There was a couple other people there, and I'm inside finishing up my drink or whatever. Everybody else is outside. I come outside, and there's this dude out there. Looks like the goddamn Incredible Hulk.
I remember this.
He's yelling at Hollis about something, and then he shoves her. So Packard's like, "Hey, man, you can't shove a girl." So this guy grabs Tom, throws him up against a truck. I'm like, "Oh no," So while this dude's yelling at Tom, holding him up against the truck. I grabbed this guy on the shoulder to be like, "Hey, man, get off of my buddy." This dude turns around and fucking clocks me right in the face.
Nice.
sends me to the ground, and then just proceeds to repeatedly kick me. So people from inside the bar come out and break it up, and that was it.
Wow. For Hollis.
I got bounced by the fucking Incredible Hulk.
Curb.
Right?
Wow. That's crazy. Bailey?
There was one time back in high school, there was this girl I was sleeping with. I think it was after high school, or was it during high school? I don't remember. But there was this one girl I was sleeping with. Oh, yeah, I got her pregnant on your fold-out bed when I was home on leave from the Navy at one time. You remember that girl?
Me?
No.
Who are you talking
about?
Yeah,
you.
You got some
when
girl...
you stayed out in Broadview Heights?
You got some girl pregnant on my bed?
She wrote me a letter when I was back deployed saying something that she would have something of mine removed from inside her.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah, I do actually remember that. God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a magic fold-out bed over at your house. But anyway,
see what happens.
Her boyfriend at the time, found out that we were seeing each other, and found out that I was going to be out with her and one of her friends, and Brian Stair was there and this was another Metro Parks incident, and we're just hanging out, and Brian Stair's gonna hook up with her friend, and blah blah blah. But her friend was like a rat. She ended up calling the ex-boyfriend with all his friends, and this is back like wiggers were just coming out because there were a bunch of them, like NWA had, like all of a sudden. Yeah. So a bunch of them showed up, and it was just like me and Brian Stair. And then the girl that he was going to hook up with, I guess he didn't win her over enough because she called and said, "This is where we're at," And just like, oh man, what are we going to do here, And Brian tried to be the talker, the peacemaker and stuff because it's like, the dude wanted to kill me because I was banging his girlfriend, And but we ended up like, I think, grabbing like we were there with like beers, and then all of a sudden it's just like I was just like. It was cans though, luckily, and I remember I just hit the dude in the head with a can of beer, and then for some reason that just freaked them all out, so we didn't get. Yeah, so it worked. So he did. Yeah, so I was like, "Thank you." Note to self: Eric Butera center blocks. Let's grab a can of beer. and we didn't get we basically got away unscathed that night, but then then he was like I think I had to avoid like legal issues after that for a little bit. I forget how I got out of that one. I think I got Butera's attorney too, maybe, I don't know. That's funny. That was about it.
So I don't have one of my own, but I have another Bill Bailey one. We used to hang out. See, now you have to tell me this story, Bill, because I don't know what it is, but I would hang out with the same people Bill hung out with, which was Mario Scarpino, Gene, and April Burkhart. And we went to this bar or something, and they told me, like, they said there was some guy messing with April, and Bill knocked his teeth out and knocked him out. So there's a fight you won, Bill. And I don't know.
Oh, that was at Cheers.
Okay, see, they were telling me the story, and I was like, really? And they're like, oh, yeah. They were all serious about it. I was like, wow. So what happened?
Yeah, luckily I was friends with the owner of that bar because... most people I would have been in trouble for that too. But I forget what happened. This dude was just like hitting on her or something, and then you know how I get all of a sudden, because I think I was trying to hook up with April that night. I don't know, but it just she was being bothered by this dude, and I'm just like, leave her alone. She doesn't want you bothering her, and got all my beer muscles in me, and I just like I ended up, the guy pushed me, and I just ended up like hitting him so hard that his tooth, like root and all, came out.
Damn.
And so then the little fight, got broken up by the owner, and that guy was told to leave, and then they were going to be like outside waiting for me or something, I think. And then April and Gene and everybody's like, well, we were having a good time, and then Bill went and ruined it again. And, and Dave, the owner, was just like, all right, well, don't go outside yet. Let's let things cool down, blah, blah, blah. And we're like cleaning up, picking up the bar stools. And he's like, oh, Bill, here, you might want to keep this as a souvenir. And he gave me the dude's tooth. And
took a necklace out of it.
Yeah. And then
he put it in his mouth. He had it implanted in his gums.
Today's his birthday. Take a picture now.
But so we ended up leaving, and I think they were like waiting outside in the car, but Mario was the peacemaker and got us all in the car, and we just left. He's like, come on, he's drunk, blah blah blah, whatever. And then everybody was just, I remember the ride home, it's like, everybody's mad at you because you ruined the night, and you're sitting in the back seat. You're lucky they're giving you a ride home. You're just like, well, like, Bill, dude, so many dumb incidents happened with those guys when I got home from the Navy that Mario, who was like one of my all-time best friends, still is. The dude's, I put him in my will, before I went overseas, because I know he's smart enough to handle everything, if something were to happen, And but I didn't get invited to him and Gene's wedding because they were afraid I would get drunk at the reception and cause a scene. That's how horrible it was back then.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, we got time for one more round. So if you got any good ones you're holding on to or anything like that, this is it. This is your last chance, Brian.
You'll have to
I keep hoping that it ends because every time I think about any fight I've ever been in, I'm just like, oh Jesus Christ, man. I fucking don't want to remember that at all because my brain immediately starts shying away from it. Like, no, No.
No. Brian, you ever got any fights at any shows?
What?
You ever been in a fight at a show?
I wouldn't call it a fight. I went and saw Crisis, not to be confused with Earth Crisis. I saw Crisis, and it was at the Agora Ballroom or whatever, the small stage and shit, and fucking, I mean, people are kind of thrashing around, but it really wasn't a crowd. People were, like, kicking the hell out of each other, and all of a sudden, some dude was in the pit, and he was just, like looking at his buddies, but, like, throwing elbows into people's heads and punching people, like, laughing, like, ah. I didn't care, because, it wasn't doing it to me. And all of a sudden, he, like, kicked me in the fucking shin, and I was, like, I had taken, like, mini thins back when he used to sell those, so I was, like, fucking not thinking clearly. And, so the dude fucking came around by me, and I went to fucking punch him in the face, okay, but I missed. So I hit the dude behind him, So I'm like, oh. So the guy turned around looking all crazy, but I was looking at the other guy that was being pissed. So at first he thought it was me, and then he looked at the other guy and thought it was him. And then that guy, he came bouncing forward, and this time I'm like, I ain't missing. I threw an elbow right into the dude's face. Felt his nose break on my fucking arm. I had blood on my fucking elbow and shit. Dude stopped fucking jumping around. He's like holding his face and shit. And I knew he had friends over there, but at this point I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. You don't kick me in the fucking shin when I'm at a show and think you're going to fucking walk away unscathed, Especially somebody that's jumping around like a fucking jackass. But his friends just came over, fucking picked him up and carried him away. And then, remember Mosh Tongue?
Yeah.
He fucking comes over to me because he was one of the fucking guys that was like kind of bouncing at the show. And, yeah, Chris, he's like, dude, we saw what you did, man, and that's all good, but you got to go. I'm like, why? He's like, well, I mean, that guy was kind of a dick, and we appreciate the fact that you stopped him being a dick, but I mean, you did kind of fuck him up, so you can't have it. You got to go. I'm like, that's all right. My band's over, so it's all good. So Jody was there, too. She's looking at me. She's like, what the hell's happened? I'm like, I don't know. The guy pissed me off. She's like, Jesus, we're going home. Wow. That was crazy, man.
Anderson?
I went to a party once, and if I may say before the story, this is when my back was really in pain, so I couldn't get involved. That's the whole reason why I didn't get involved. I was at this party, and there was like these, how like you go to a party with all your friends, and there's like people and there's your friends, and then like every so often there's always like that 2 or 3 dudes that like only one person knows, and they hang out in the corner, and they don't know anybody, and it just seems shady.
Yep.
Well, I'm sitting at this table.
I've been that person.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm at this party with Brian and Bailey, and everybody's looking at it. No, I go to this party and I'm sitting at this table because my back's killing me, and I'm not doing nothing. I'm just chilling, and I'm looking at these 2 guys, and they're like, "Yeah, that dude right there, we're gonna whoop his ass." And they're talking about this other dude that's standing out in the out in the yard. This dude is doing nothing to nobody, I guess, because he was talking to some chick. So they get up and they go walking out there. And I'm like, okay, well, I better go tell that, I get up and I go to the guy who lives there, and I said, hey, man, you're about to have a fight in your front yard. Unless you want the cops coming, you better go get out there. You know what I mean? It's like it's a party. Let's just keep partying and having a good time. Why do we, And so he goes out there, and I'm standing there, and I'm, watching from the inside. All of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. These dudes start swinging at everybody. Everything's going crazy. So I go up to I go to find this dude, Kevin. He's this big blob type guy, and he's in the kitchen, and I go in the kitchen. I said, hey, Kevin. He's like, what? I said, there's a fight in the front yard. Everybody's fucking swinging. And I whoever the dude Terry's getting beat up and blah blah blah, and he just like pushed everybody out of the way. He goes running out the front door, and he just starts laying waste to everybody. He's just like bam bam bam, just punching people as he walks by. It's like a video game. Every person he punches, they just fall to the ground. He's like pam 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 pam. So this dude comes running in the house, grabs a knife out of the kitchen, comes running back out, and goes, I'm gonna fucking stab this motherfucker. And I'm like, holy shit. And he goes out there, and he goes, I'm going to stab you. And Kevin turns around and goes, you really think you're going to stab me? And he's like, he's a fat dude. He's like, do you really think I'm going to feel it if you stab me? Because if you stab me and I don't feel it, I am going to kill you. And the dude's just like, next thing you know, the sirens and the cops and everything. It's just like, all right, bring it up. Let's go. Roll them up.
Jesus Christ.
God, man, I got nothing like you guys have stories. It's fucking.
I know. You guys got good ones, man. I got shit.
Oz can always confirm my Dwid with the handgun in the flat story.
Yes, I can confirm that. Handgun.
It's not much of a fight.
It wasn't a fight. It was more like
once you got the gun out, it pretty much ended.
It was more
that
like
was a great show. I remember
shooting at people.
Right.
Yeah, somebody cut his microphone or whatever, right? When somebody in the audience cut his mic.
Yeah.
But then
and his way of getting
blanks
back at
or
him
something?
at the show was to sing one of his songs to them. At the show.
Yeah.
Me and Oz lived in a house with a bullet hole in it.
Yep, that's true.
All right, Larry, any more?
That's how we are.
Nothing that can compete with this.
I know it's getting all ruthless now.
Mine are all like lame shit. Like there was the time that
this kid pushed me off the slide.
Ding, ding. Bailey had the one about the chick's ex showing up. My epic showdown with Cindy's ex-husband when he was stalking her. That took 5 seconds. There was the time I was supposed to fight Vinoy and nothing happened.
But we were highly entertained by the fact that we knew we're never going to fight each other, but the phone calls were just glorious.
Yeah, but you just kept egging it on. I'm like, dude, why don't you just drop it? I want to see you guys fight. It'd be fun.
Yeah. It would have been.
That's what makes him Brian Baird.
Sitting on your shoulder the whole time going, go ahead. You can take him.
Do it. Fight him. You know you want to.
Do it.
And for the people there who haven't quite figured out, the sort of person Vinoy is, the whole impetus for Vinoy wanting to fight me was because when he would call my apartment looking for my girlfriend who was cheating me on with him.
Cheating on me with what?
All right,
she was cheating on me with Vinoy.
Yeah, Yoda.
Yeah.
Cheating on you, she was with him.
Vinoy would call my apartment, ask for her, and I'd be like, dude, I'm not putting her on the phone. And he'd get pissed at me, telling me I was an asshole and a motherfucker. I was like, dude, I'm not giving her the phone. And he's like, come fight me then. I was like, you know what? Where are you? I'll meet you wherever you want. And he named some Denny's parking lot. I was like, give me 20 minutes. And I went there and there was nobody there.
Because he was too busy banging your girlfriend.
Probably.
That was to lure you out.
Jesus.
Dude, I never saw that side of when we were living together. I don't know. I just never really saw him get crazy like that.
I think it was something that would stem from that dude's own depression or something. Like if he got depressed, he would crack. But if he was in a good mood, he was fine. Like most of the time, he was fine. But then something, usually a girl, would set him off, and then it would just be
or a song.
Yeah,
like in your apartment, Kevin.
Right, but that was due to Amber. That wasn't because of the song. That was because of Amber Miller. Because he wanted to get on Amber,
geez.
and then.
I remember her.
And then she was he just clicked on Rob.
Anybody got a napkin? that was Oz. That was Oz at that party at Baird's. He's sitting under the table drunk, and she comes out in that towel. Then she goes walking away, and all you hear is, anybody got a napkin? But he spilled his beer, so it was just funny, though.
Just perfect timing, huh?
That was a fucked up night.
I think me and Vinoy just negated each other when we were living together. It's just like, we're both not right, so just wore each other down that we were actually sane.
Yeah.
Kevin and I, Vinoy and I fought in 5th grade. That was short-lived.
Well, you're next, Steve, so why don't you tell us the story?
Oh, jeez. He was picking on my plumbing family, and he fucking Kevin was there for one of his episodes on the answering machine where my old man decided to hit me for it. And I finally went back and oh shit, no, that was before you.
Yeah, that was before you knew me.
Yeah, before I even knew you. But he was doing that shit beforehand. And he wouldn't let this shit go. He kept on going. I'm like, dude, really? I mean, we were friends at one time. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, you're an old man. I'm like, all right, enough. It's like, and I give people chances. I'm like, enough, man, dude, cut it up. All of a sudden, I just fucking threw the soccer ball in his fucking face. I had my hand on the back of his neck. bent him over, and I started punching him in the gut. He was fucking coming off the ground, like, and I'm like, it didn't fucking phase him or anything. I don't know what the fuck it was, but then the fucking, whatever you call them, people, the teachers outside fucking grabbed us both, threw us in the fucking principal's office. And we're sitting there, and he's like all fine. I'm all pissed off and shit. He's like, oh, whatever you do, just lie. Just say we were playing. So he was more worried about his getting in trouble with his parents than fucking the fight we were in. It was just fucking weird. I was like, okay. So we came up with this dumb scheme, and we actually got out of it. But it was just like, all right, whatever. He never bothered me after that.
I mean, he also worked at Tiffany's. Was he working there when he was living with you, Bailey, or no? No.
No,
that was when he lived
because,
with Mark.
I would have been trying to reap those rewards.
Because he got into fights there all the time. He was punching out people to take him outside. I remember I came into work the one time and he was hitting some guy in the head with his walkie-talkie. I was like, wow, this is where I work. This isn't right.
That was after he became the bar back or whatever.
Well, he was a floorman.
Being resourceful.
Yeah, he was.
He said he broke like one of those a month.
Yeah, well,
like,
yeah, he didn't work there too long because he started dating one of the girls there and stuff, and then he
That's the other reason they fired him.
He tried to get her husband to divorce her and stuff, and then because he went to his work and was like, I've been screwing your girlfriend or something, and he called him later on the phone. It was at my apartment and stuff, and he was all like, yeah, did you like banging her? He was all into it, the guy.
See, Larry, it wasn't just you.
And and then she ratted him out, and he got fired because you weren't allowed to date any of the strippers, so he got fired.
This show's becoming like an episode of Lost or something, dude. I listen to these podcasts at work, and all you're doing is rehashing, the Vinoy stories. And
I know, I feel bad. We've talked about Vinoy so much, but the guy is a loose
gotta have him
cannon.
on, man. Well, he's entertaining.
Yeah. Just as long as he's not clicking his tongue piercing or something on the mic all night.
Broken tooth.
Oz, you got any more?
Do I have? I have one more. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm at Nashville Pussy at the garage shop, and my buddy Keith bumps into this guy, and if you know Keith, he's all like, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry." So, yeah.
Keith Cook? Okay, yeah.
Yes, Keith Cook. And the dude, so the dude just clocks him right in the face. Keith goes down. The guy starts walking away, and little did the guy know that there's 15, 20 people there that are friends with Keith,
Yeah.
Right. So a bunch of us just grabbed the guy, throw him on the ground, and proceeded to do a Goodfellas number on him. De Niro and Pesci style. I was wearing a pair of steel-toed work boots and just kicked him quite a number of times.
The only thing missing was Atlantis by Donovan.
Exactly. And that's it.
Did he walk out on his? Did he walk out or was he carried out? This guy.
No, he got up and walked out, but he was pretty bloodied up.
All right. Bailey, you got any one? This will be the last one if you have any.
Yeah, I'm getting reminded of stuff with all these show fights and everything going on. I remember this one. Larry, I think you were there too. It really wasn't much of a fight, but it was kind of funny because the whole the thing that made it funny is it was a show I put together and was promoting.
Oh,
so
is this when you decided to fight Ringworm and Bad News 13 instead of pay them?
No, not that one.
No, that was a different time.
That was a different one, and everybody got paid. All right. Anyway,
and he still never touched that girl.
Which one? The girl from. Anyway,
never mind.
Back on the one I was talking about. That it was like one of our benefits for the troops or something. I think it was Keratoma.
Did you got into a fight at a benefit?
Yeah, one of our benefits. It was at the Fantasy, and just some dude was just getting to Tom Schaffner was up there playing and stuff, and somebody kept bumping into his girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, you need to chill out, or something. And security wasn't. I pointed out to security; they didn't really do nothing, but he kept bumping into her, and Tommy was getting upset, but he's up on stage playing. So I don't know, something clicked off in my head. So I just grabbed the dude and started punching him. Thanks for paying to get into my show and raising money for the troops. Bam, bam, bam. You know? And then they threw him out. It didn't do Domain Cleveland much good for future events. I'll come support your cause. So you can take a chance.
That's awesome. All right, well, that's going to wrap our show. We're over 2 hours. I want to thank Oz and Bailey for both showing up. You guys are welcome back anytime. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for the stories. Next week, we're having another video game news, and then in 2 weeks, we're going to have a new Midwest Wasteland, which will be about injuries and medication. So,
gotta love medication.
That will be the...
I have to chime back into that.
Larry thinks it's all FUBAR.
It's all bullshit. Nut up and be a man about your problems instead of taking medication, you fucking candy ass.
That works really well for you, I can tell.
It does.
Yeah.
Why do you think I'm so fucking level-headed?
Hey, man, I had major
What are you trying to
surgery.
say there?
So long as your
Larry?
girlfriend doesn't walk away from you within 5 feet, because as soon as she does, you curl up in the body like, I can't take
Yeah, that's me. Bullshit.
I'm lonely.
That's
I
all
forgot.
shenanigans.
She turns her
I can
back
remember
on
a
you.
couple
You're
of
like,
shows.
why are you looking at me?
As soon as she ain't around, Larry Mack is on the prowl.
For more information about this show and the other shows, go to videogamenews.com. The first post on the front page. If you click on that, it tells you how to get all of our shows that we have, as well as all the emails of the hosts. That's it. We don't have an outro for Midwest Wasteland. Sports is going to be next. It'll be at 11 p.m. And I guess there'll be a very short D&D show. So that's it. Thanks, everybody. Take it easy. Later.
Bye.
See ya.
Hey, nice talking to you guys.
Yeah.